Sports Radio 810 WHB.
The fastest players in baseball can run the bases from home to home in just over 15 seconds. In residential real estate, a RE/MAX agent helps someone buy or sell a home every 30 seconds. The RE/MAX agent who talked to the home buyers, made a checklist, added a wish list, scanned the listings, cross-checked the school district, then sorted the properties until they found the one home they knew the buyers would love. That's the sign of a RE/MAX agent, the MVPs of real estate and the official real estate partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each office independently owned and operated.
We've reached the point where the only way to make Tuesdays any better is by having more boneless wings. That's why here at Buffalo Wild Wings, we've invented Boneless Tuesdays. It's a celebration every Tuesday where if you order boneless wings at full price, you'll get another of the same size for free. This works for dine-in or takeout. Every little bit counts. And on Tuesdays, every boneless wing counts as two. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Prices and participation vary. While supplies last, additional restrictions apply. See participating location for details.
Hey men, this is the Kansas City Men's Clinic with a heads up for any of you suffering from the embarrassment of erectile dysfunction. Not too long ago, ED was thought to be a psychological problem. Well, that was just wrong. We now know better. We know there are physical causes for ED. The Kansas City Men's Clinic has a solution. Guys, we know the little blue pill and normal remedies don't work. Our doctors provide personalized medications that work for erectile dysfunction, premature issues, and Peyronie's disease. Our medications work for almost all medical conditions, diabetes, high blood pressure, and a low sex drive. We even give you a custom formulated test dose in the office. If we can't help you, there is no charge for your office. 688. That's 527-8688 or thekansascitymensclinic.com and ask about our incredible Priapus therapy that is known to increase sensitivity, stamina, and even size. The Kansas City Men's Clinic, your key to a better life.
You feel like you have the worst copier or printer in Kansas City? Does it never seem to work when you need it most? If so, Datamax would like to give you a new Canon copier and drop your old one from a 120-foot crane. Yeah, Datamax will drop your old copy machine from a 120-foot crane. Apply to win at worstcopierinKC.com. The drop takes place September 7th in front of Union Station, and proceeds will benefit the Big Steps Foundation. For more information or to apply, go to worstcopierinKC.com. That's worstcopier.
Miege High School. I am Tim Spurl. He is Jeremy Crabtree. And it is a game that not only kicks off the regular season in the state of Kansas, but it is a game that the folks down at Blue Valley have been thinking about for the last 7 months, ever since the passing of their legendary coach, Eric Driscoll. Alan Terrell takes over the reins at Blue Valley, but no doubt, Jeremy, a lot of heavy hearts as the season gets ready to kick off in Kansas.
Yeah, the Tigers are going to be tested in so many different ways tonight, but obviously the biggest one will be how they come into this game emotionally for the first time since the tragic passing of Eric Driscoll 7 months ago. And earlier this week, another reminder of Coach Driscoll's impact came when the Kansas City Chiefs named him the Kansas Coach of the Year award in his honor. So, I mean, that's good news from a community standpoint, but it's just another reminder of how impactful Coach Driscoll was and how emotionally charged this game is going to be for the Tigers. It's going to be very interesting to see how they respond, because they've been waiting for this moment. You have butterflies in your stomach for the first game of the year already, but then when you add that layer, it certainly just makes things very, very fascinating for the Tigers tonight.
It's something that we'll touch on throughout the broadcast, but we're ready for football in the state of Kansas. Bishop Miege, the defending 4A1 state champion from the last 3 years, takes on a Blue Valley Tiger Club that lost the 6A state championship game a year ago to Derby. Blue Valley comes in ranked second in 6A, ranked sixth in the city. Bishop Miege, obviously, they're the number one team in 4A1, but they're also the second-ranked team in the city, the highest-ranked Kansas team in the city, according to the A10Varsity.com poll. They will be going left to right. They will be returning the opening kickoff. Blue Valley in their white uniforms, their road jerseys, will be kicking off from the right side of the midfield from the 40-yard line in their black helmets, their black number, gold trim, and the Bishop Miege Stags in their red home uniforms with the white numbers, the white M on the helmet. Once again, going left to right. Bryson Cobrins, Cameron Key, the kick returners back deep for the Stags of Bishop Miege High School. Has it teed up right now for Blue Valley is the senior kicker, Jackson Likens. And Jeremy, Kansas high school football is finally back.
Yes, it is. After 2 weeks of watching Missouri, the Kansas guys finally get to go, and we get the best matchup in the state of Kansas right here, right now on your radio dial.
It's been our game of the week the last 2 years. It's been classics the last 2 years. And Likens' line drive kick will carry halfway into the end zone, a touchback. And here comes the Stags offense, Jeremy, and loaded. Doesn't even begin to describe it.
Yeah, and it all starts with Carter Putz. The Notre Dame baseball commitment was the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Kansas, even though he didn't make All-State or didn't even make All-Metro. His numbers are video game-like. He was 167 of 234, completing 71% of his passes as a junior. He only had 50 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, so his career numbers are amazing. He's going to be tested a new set of receivers, but he does have some returning offensive linemen in front of him to lead the way.
5 receivers to open things up here for Bishop Miege on this Friday evening. Shotgun snap. Putz looks left, completes it across the 25, and getting dragged down there is Peyton Hamrick, the first catch of the night for the senior receiver.
Yeah, they like what they've got coming in. There's a lot of untested skill position guys for the Stags, but they like what they've got. They got some young guys, and they're going to let Carter just run this offense on a high-octane go system.
4 receivers, the give to Bryson Cobbins straight up the middle, breaks off one tackle, and he's out across the 35-yard line, spotted near the 37, first down Miege.
Yeah, Cobbins is one of these young guys that I just mentioned. He's only a sophomore, 5'7", 160, but he rushed for almost 850 yards as a true freshman.
Cameron Clark back in the backfield as well, and now flags fly on the snap of the football. And it's going to be a false start against Miege.
Yeah, we see one of these week one type of mistakes. We see them all the time. Just kind of get the kinks out. Got to get the kinks out. We didn't see that in Missouri the last couple of weeks as they've been playing. But Kansas, this is just their first opportunity to get out there on the field. And you're going to have a lot of these little minor mistakes. But both these schools are well coached. Both the teams are well coached. So hopefully we won't see too many of them tonight.
1st and 15, back to the 32-yard line of the opening drive from Bishop Miege, and now flags fly again on the snap, and another false start.
Yeah, the left side of the offensive line went before Jack Burns, the center, snapped the ball. And you got some young skill guys, and you just don't want to have to force them to make a big play right away. But if you are looking for somebody to make a play, good news is you got the best quarterback in the metro area to do it.
Like you said, 50 touchdowns a year ago, the Kansas Gatorade High School Player of the Year. First down and 20 to go from their own 27 after 2 straight false start penalties. Putz, shotgun snap, gives right side. Nowhere to go for Cameron Clark. Maybe a gain of 2 yards on the play, and here comes second and long.
Yeah, the Tigers lost a lot on both sides of the ball, but especially on the defensive side of the ball, having to replace Michael Maffrey, the all-everything linebacker, 150 tackles last season. Got to have some young guys step up.
3 receivers, Putz, pistol snap. Looking right, throws deep ball near sideline, is caught on the sideline across midfield and out of bounds near the 45-yard line. Making his first catch of the night, Hudson Bentley.
First catch of his career, too. A 6'2", 260-pound junior just ran a flag route to the corner, and it was wide open. And credit Putz for putting it right on the money. Great job by his offensive line, giving him plenty of time to connect on the deep pass.
Ball spot at the Blue Valley 46-yard line. They hand off. Bouncing it outside is Cobbins. Cobbins, a little wiggle room and a blast up to the 31-yard line, and now a flag flies at the tail end of that one.
I think it's going to be 15 more yards, but I want to talk about Bryson Cobbins, that nice little cut to get to the hole on the left side. It was a run play to the right. He ran into his right guard. It was bottled up, cuts back to the left, and, hey, there's a huge hole there, and he manages to get nice first down yardage, and looks like we're going to get 15 more yards for a late hit.
Yeah, Miege says that it's against Blue Valley.
That was a blow to the head. That's what they called.
So is a 13-yard carry, and they're going to tack on 15 more on a personal foul.
That's one thing you don't want. You can't give Bishop Miege free yards because they're going to be able to motor up and down this field pretty easily with their offense all night long. But you just can't give them free yards.
Boy, they mark it all the way down to the Blue Valley 15-yard line. And so now Miege all of a sudden is in the red zone, threatening to score on their opening drive. 10:21 to play here first quarter. 3 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. And Bryson Cobbins behind Putz in the shotgun. Putz, snap, looks for the end zone, throws right side. It is incomplete. Batted down, great coverage out there by Nick Lester.
Yeah, Nick Lester, senior, small guy, only 5'6", 145 pounds. They have Miege has got taller receivers. He's going to be picked on all night long. That's a matchup that the Stags have to love, but Lester stood tall on that play, did a nice job in the one-on-one coverage.
3 receivers in the formation this time. Putz, shotgun snap, and now flags fly again on the snap. This is the 4th penalty of the first drive of the game. And this is going to go against Miege with another false start.
Yeah, Putz visibly upset right there. He knew immediately that his left side of the offensive line jumped again. That's Taylor Portier and Tyler Portier, the twin brothers, both having a hard time getting the snap count going. Want to go just a little bit too fast there.
4 penalties in this opening drive, 3 of them against the Stags, all false start penalties. Second down, 15 to go. They're going to play fake to Clark. Throw over the middle is incomplete. It sailed. They were looking for the tight end, Darren Gilkey, and now it's going to be 3rd and long.
That's a nice play call by the Tigers defense. Linebacker Jack Bernhardt ran right through the middle, untouched. And he got in Putz's face and threw off the timing. The pass route was open, but the timing was off because of the blitzing linebacker. Nice play call by the Tigers defensive staff.
3rd and 15 now for the Stags. 3 running backs in the backfield in a diamond formation around the quarterback, Carter Putz. Putz, the snap, will flip it left side, and this one is going to be stopped again. Another false start, the 4th on the opening drive of the game against the Stags.
And that's going to be on receiver Peyton Hamrick. Had a nice catch earlier in this drive, but then jumped off sides, just going too fast, trying to go. Interesting play call, though, on 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20. You try the toss sweep to the left. Maybe try to get a little bit back and go for it on 4th down here.
3rd and 20, ball sits at the Blue Valley 25. Putz, short drop, guess what? Another false start.
Wow, this has got to be driving John Holmes absolutely batty. And it's the same group of guys. It's that left side of the offensive line and the left receiver, whoever is lined up out there, they're just going too fast on every play. Maybe the snap isn't getting off quickly. Maybe Jack Burns, the starting senior center, isn't getting the snap quick enough. Something's not right. The timing's just really off right now for the Stags.
Now 3rd and 25. Putz, pistol snap. This time no flags. Sitting in the pocket. Now he's going to step up, look to run. He's going to tuck it across the 20-yard, stiff arm, and he's going to get ridden out of bounds out near the 15-yard line. They'll mark him just shy, and it'll be 4th down.
And no hesitation at all. Looks like the offense is staying out there. Nice 3rd down scramble, though, by Putz to get some of this back and make this a manageable. I mean, 4th and 12 is manageable for the Stags offense, and they're not even hesitating. They're going to go right out of the gate.
Got to get across the Blue Valley 5-yard line for a first down. They've got 4 receivers in the formation. Cobbins in the backfield right behind Cameron Butts in the pistol. Snap, looks left, steps up, throws left side, incomplete. Batted down by Blake Brown, and it's a turnover on downs.
Yeah, Blake Brown's one of the senior leaders on this team. Nice job one-on-one coverage. They ran a stick route where the receiver runs to the first down marker, turns around. The ball was right in the money, and Blake Brown makes the first big defensive play of the season for the Tigers. He's going to be called to do a lot, playing both sides of the football as a receiver and cornerback. Nice one-on-one victory for the Tigers, getting the ball out of the Stags' hands on offense.
9:33 to play in the opening quarter. Now here comes Blue Valley for the first time. And unlike Miege, they don't return a National Gatorade Player of the Year. They lost a lot of talent last year.
They lost a lot, and we'll talk about that here as we go through this drive here. But certainly a lot of big pieces to fill.
Luke Bernard will be the first quarterback tonight we see for Blue Valley. We should see a couple of quarterbacks throughout the evening. And again, this is the first drive, and a flag flies before the snap. I think we have delay a game.
We do, and that's what's going to happen. This is staggering what the Tigers have to replace on offense. Listen to these. Lose Matt Durter. He only had 3,100 yards and 35 touchdowns. Will Evans, the running back, had 1,600 yards and almost 23 touchdowns. And then Harry Van Dyne, the Minnesota receiver commitment, up there as a true freshman, 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. And Gus Gomez had 500 yards and 6 touchdown receptions. They got to replace all of those guys here this season opener.
3 left, 1 right. Bernard, short drop, throws, slant over the middle, complete across the 25-yard line. And that is his slot receiver coming up with his first catch of the night.
It's Cameron Green, and he is one of the few returning guys back. 43 receptions, almost averaged 17 yards a reception as a junior. And he was big in games against Mill Valley and St. Thomas Aquinas, had almost 300 yards receiving. So he's one of their playmakers and will be looked to a lot tonight in that slot.
He's in the slot to the left side. They're going to hand off on a second and short play, and nothing going inside for Alex Tata. And they're going to say he fumbled, and it's recovered by Miege. He must have lost that ball at the point of contact near the 25, and Miege at the bottom of the pile comes away with it.
Yeah, it was Dylan Downing. Downing's younger brother. Remember Dawson Downing from a few years ago and the record numbers he put up at running back? Well, Dylan Downing might be a Division I recruit on his own right. Middle linebacker, senior returning starter, laid a stick on Alex Tata, forcing the fumble. And now the Stags have absolutely great field position. First down and 10 at their 25.
So a fumble, 2 plays into the season for this Blue Valley offense. And now here comes Miege the second time tonight. From the Blue Valley 25, Putz, pistol snap. Gives to Cobbins right side, and he is tripped up across the 20 near the 18-yard line.
Tata had to come back, and immediately he's one of the few guys playing both ways for the Tigers. He had to immediately make a shoestring tackle. If he doesn't catch him, Cobbins gets into that end zone for a touchdown.
Approaching 8:30 to go, opening quarter. Cameron Clark, the delayed handoff, pushes the pile near the 20-yard line, and that's near the first down marker. He may have it. Depending on where they spot him. And now they're going to say just short of that yard to gain. So third, and let's call it less than a yard for the Stags. Putz from the pistol. 3 receivers in the formation. Cobbins behind him. He's going to give to Cobbins. Run on the right side. A stiff arm has him a first down. Cut back to the 10-5. Spins into the end zone. Touchdown Stags. And they're on top in this opening quarter.
Nice run by the sophomore running back. Patient run, too, because it wasn't there initially. He had to wait for the pulling left guard, Tyler Portier, to make the block. He was patient. Block got set finally. He did a spin move. Once he got to that second level and got to the end zone, the Stags are on the board, which they did a lot last season, averaging 423 yards a game is in 2016, so they like to go on offense.
The extra point kick is up and through. 7-0 Bishop Miege. They score on the second drive of the game off a turnover. And we step aside 7-0 early Stags in this one on your Sports Radio 810 High School Game of the Week. Of the 40-yard line by Eric Olson in Blue Valley has got themselves pretty good opening field position here, down 7-0, 7:50 to play opening quarter, and Jeremy a fumble on the opening drive in Blue Valley. They don't want to play out of a hole against Miege.
No, not especially against an offense like this, and you know they're just replacing so many pieces from last season. You lose your starting quarterbacks, 2 receivers, starting running back. It's going to be very interesting to see how they manage to navigate this here. I mean, the Tigers have some good talent up front, but how is this offense going to be able to go? That's the big question mark we have about the Tigers this year.
4 receivers in the formation. It's Luke Bernard again at quarterback, and he hands off to Tata up the middle. This time he hangs on to the football as he's taken down across the 40-yard line. Pick up a 2. Here comes 2nd and 8.
Yeah, Tata's going to have a new role this year. Last year we saw him a lot as a blocking back. Played a lot as a sophomore. If you recall, when we did that game against Shawnee Mission East, he was the guy that was opening up huge holes for William Green and all the success that he had. Now he's going to have to be the guy to carry the load.
3 left, 1 right in a formation. Bernard checks the sideline. 6'2", 180-pound senior quarterback. 1 for 1 tonight throwing the football. Bernard will roll near side, looking to throw. He will near sideline. It is incomplete near the 50-yard line. It was hauled in, but out of bounds was Benjamin DeZoom, and it'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, not a bad pass. The ball was right in the money by Luke Bernard. Just couldn't quite come down with the reception right there. Showed his range. He rolled out to the left and threw a really nice pass on the rocket arm.
7:05 to play opening quarter. 3rd and 8 for Blue Valley. A turnover on their opening drive, and they're in danger of going 3 and out on their second drive of the ball game. 4 receivers in the formation, pistol set for Bernard. Snap, short drop, steps up in the pocket, getting chased from the backside. He's going to run with it across the 40-yard line, and he's going to get decked. Well short of that first down marker, and it's decision time for Alan Terrell, as his offense can only gain 2 yards on 3 downs.
Yeah, you got to punt this ball, Coach. But what a close by the Stags defense. There were, 5 guys that rallied to the football. Cameron Key from his cornerback spot, returning starter, came and laid a huge lick there. Nice job of the Stags defense to rally once Bernard started to break the pocket. It looked like for a second he might have enough of a hold to get some first down yardage, but a nice rally by the Stags defense.
Cameron Key back to return this punt. The punt unit gets sent on by Alan Terrell. Cameron Key, a speedy senior return man. This punt into the wind, high spiraling, hits at the 32-yard line, is going to take a Blue Valley hop inside the 20. And it will be down near the 17-yard line. And here comes that Stags offense again. And Jeremy, how many times really in the last 2 years have we seen this offense? Once they get even that slightest lead, man, they get in a rhythm offensively.
They do, and it is a rhythm offense. That's a great way to describe this, Tim, because they like to go. Once they get a first down, they like to put their foot in the gas. You see it with Texas Tech. You see it with a lot of these high-octane offenses. They like to go, and they can hurt you in a number of different ways with the run, and up the middle. They can do spread option type stuff, and they love to throw the ball and then just go quickly. So you're right. It doesn't take much for them to get going, and you don't want to fall behind the Stags.
Putz, shotgun snap. Play fake, and now he steps up and zips it out into the flat left side. Cobbins around 1, and he will get dropped just shy of the 25-yard line. And that's going to make it a 2nd and about 4 play.
That's a nice job, though, by the Tigers' defense. Their secondary held strong there. They tried to play action pats, and Putz wanted to throw the ball long, but it was covered. 3 receivers were streaking down the field with a white jersey attached to their hip.
Pistol formation, Putz. Snap, fakes it, and now flares it out left side to Schieber. Picks up a block, has a first down, and bumped out of bounds across the 33-yard line. Carter Putz has got this offense motoring here, the 3rd drive of the ball game.
That right there's just familiarity with the offense. That was a run-pass option, RPO, and he pulled it because he saw the blitzing linebacker coming out to tackle the running back and just toss it right out there to Schieber, and he takes off for the first down.
Putz, short drop, looks right, throws it in the flat. Again, right side, it is Schieber again. Breaks off 1 tackle. He bumps his defender on his back across the 44-yard line, and that's where he steps out of bounds. It is close to the first down marker again.
Kind of showed his baseball arm strength right there. don't forget that Putz is a baseball commitment heading to the University of Notre Dame, and he threw the ball on that out route perfectly for the first down.
It is a first down at the 44-yard line. Empty formation, 3 to the left, 2 to the right for Putz. Shotgun snap, has a lot of time. He steps up, deep ball left side. It is incomplete. Great coverage. In the secondary, they were looking for Peyton Hamrick. Eric Olson, one of the few returning starters.
Exactly, he took the words out of my mouth. And he's arguably one of the best defensive backs in the entire metro area, almost 100 tackles last season, always around the football. If you want to know where the football's at, you look where number 32 is, and right on the money to break up that pass.
2nd and 10, 5:08 to play opening quarter. Putz, hands off Cobbins, bouncing it out left side across midfield. Flag flies, a little stutter step, and he's dragged down just shy of the first down marker. But like I said, there is a flag on the play, so we'll tend to the laundry.
Yeah, it's not been a good couple of drives for the Portier brothers. Taylor gets called for holding right there, the left tackle, and it was very, very obvious there, holding Blake Richmeyer there, the junior defensive end, and it wasn't even close. And the Blue Valley coaches caught it, but so did 2 or 3 officials.
A lot of penalties in this opening frame against Bishop Miege. It really hurt them on their first drive, as they ended up going for it on a 4th down and couldn't convert. They did score despite the penalties on their second drive. They lead 7-0. But again, they're racking them up here again on their 3rd drive. 2nd and 10. Should have been a false start. Nothing called. Putz is going to get dropped in the backfield. Back near the 25-yard line. There was a false start that appeared on the far side of the field, but Blue Valley still gets home.
They do. Blitzing linebacker Alex Todd, it looks like he got in there from his linebacker spot. Jack Bernhardt was there also. Nice job by the Tigers. Good play call, right time, because the Stags were going to try to throw something long, and Putz looked up, and he didn't have time. Offensive line did do a good job and sets up this 3rd and 29 type situation, 3rd and 30.
From their own 25, they got to get across midfield for the first down. Putz, a lot of time in the shotgun. Now he's going to step up, look to run. He's going to tuck it across the 35. Dodges one man across the 40, up near the 45. He lunges out of bounds near the 46-yard line. He's going to be about 9 yards shy of that first down marker.
Got 20 yards, though. This shows you how dangerous he is, though. And he doesn't ever really have to run the football because he is so effective as a passer, but shows you what he can do there. But how about this drive? Couple drives here where the Tigers' defense looks like they've kind of started to figure things out a little bit, and they love to play fundamental, strong football. And Blue Valley's done a nice job here on the last couple drives getting the Stag offense off the field.
Punt unit on for Miege. Benjamin Dezou back deep to return for Blue Valley. High, spiraling punt. Great punt is going to be fair caught and made at the 10-yard line. Great boot by the punter, Dylan Downing. The linebacker slash punter,
he
Dylan
can do
Downing.
A little bit of everything. He can do a little bit of everything. That's a great football family. Obviously, everybody in Kansas City metro area remembers the record-breaking running back that Dawson Downey was, but Dylan's continuing the family tradition, doing a lot of really good things. I think he could develop into a guy that gets some recruits, get some looks for some recruiters. He's just a hard-nosed football player and showing some versatility with his punt.
So that punt puts Blue Valley at their own 10-yard line. They're going to have to go 90 yards in order to tie this game. 4 minutes to play, opening quarter. Like I said earlier, 7-0. Bishop Miege, the early advantage over the Tigers of Blue Valley. They're going to hand off on a fly sweep. Green across the 12-yard line, Shane Bergman, rather. The other slot receiver, a short gain on the fly sweep.
They like to use their slots a lot in the run game. That was one thing that if you watch Blue Valley football over the years, they list only they list a quarterback and only one running back, but they list 2 slot guys, Cameron Green, Ben DeZubi, Matt Kennedy, Eric Olson, Justin Schoenfeld. They're all slot guys, and if you look as they get later in the season, they love to get their slot guys a lot of running opportunities. And that was one example of them using the Tigers kind of stretch the field horizontally with their slots by trying to run the football.
Bernard goes back to the pistol set. 3 receivers in the formation. He's going to look to throw. He's going to throw a slant over the middle. Guys his man across the 15 near the 20-yard line. Lunging out is the slot receiver, Cameron Green, his second catch of the night.
I tell you what, that's nice protection by this offensive line, the Blue Valley offensive line. But how about that throw by Bernard? He stepped into that throw, threw it perfectly on the curl route, nice first down conversion. I mean, we were talking about seeing two quarterbacks here tonight, but Bernard looks really, really good to start things off.
Bernard checks over to the sideline, 3:15 to play opening quarter. A first down out across the 21-yard line. Bernard is going to take the snap and throw a hitch, and it is going to be caught. Short gain, though, only out to about the 24-yard line as he connects on the quick hitter to Blake Brown.
Now, I'm surprised they're not trying to pick on Jalen Scruggs. They keep picking on Cameron Key, one of the returning starting cornerbacks. He's one of the better defensive backs in the metro area. They've tried to pick on him tonight, but surprised they haven't thrown number 5 Jalen Scruggs way. A little less experience out there. Maybe we'll see that matchup as we move on tonight. 2nd
and 6, 3 to the left, 1 to the right for Bernard. Inside 3 to play opening quarter. They're going to give to Tata up the middle, nowhere to go. Loss of a couple on the ground. It'll be 3rd and 8.
One thing we haven't had a chance to talk at all yet about is this Stags defense is without one of its senior leaders, Joe Watsky, all EKO, all state last season, visited with him before the game on the field. He's dressed out, unfortunately. He's ineligible for the first 2 games of the season, losing 105 tackles, 15 tackles for a loss, and 4 sacks. That's not easily replaceable, especially when he's one of your senior leaders.
4 receivers again in the formation. Bernard is going to roll near side. Set up, throw it deep, incomplete. Down the sideline, he took a shot, but he overthrew Shane Bergman, and it'll be another punt for Blue Valley.
Yeah, you said set up. He didn't quite get his feet set enough to get the throw accurate. The receiver was open, just couldn't throw it accurate enough there to Bergman on that corner route. So we would have thought we would have maybe a little bit of a defensive battle after the way that these two teams have put up points in this rivalry, especially the last 2 years that we've done this game. It's been shootout after shootout, but here we are almost into the start of the second quarter, only 7-0 Stags.
35-28 a year ago, 42-35 2 years ago. Both Blue Valley wins. High snap on the punt is blocked. Flag flies, and falling on it in the end zone is the reserve linebacker Henry Gibson. It is a touchdown for Miege, but we'll tend to the flag and make sure it stands.
Yeah, and Antonio Manning was the guy that got in on special teams as starting linebacker with the block. But as you said, the flag might wipe this whole thing off. Offsides, maybe?
So the refs having a conversation about it, and right now everyone stays out there on the field, which would mean it would indicate that it's against Bishop Miege.
Now
a long discussion.
Miege has been so good on special teams over the years, and they love to punt block. They love to do the sneaky things. They've been very good in the return game, but their punt block team has been one of the best in the state of Kansas, and we saw another example of that right there. Unfortunately, it looks like it might wipe a touchdown off the board. We still don't know what they're doing.
A holding against Miege. That's got to be against one of the gunners out here.
Yeah.
The flag was thrown out here near the hash mark, rather. So that had to be a holding against the gunner. And that wipes out a touchdown.
Coach Holmes will not be pleased with that at all. I mean, not only do you wipe points off the board, but you're going to now give, is it just 5 yards?
That's 10 yards. That's first down.
Should be a first down.
Yeah. So they are going to give Blue Valley a first down. It is going to negate a Miege touchdown and put the Tiger offense back out on the field. Wow. That's a big momentum shift potentially in this game.
Certainly is. I'm curious to see what Coach Terrell dials up here on offense. Does he maybe take a shot? I mean, you see sometimes like this in these sudden change situations where you take a shot down the field vertically, and your quarterback has thrown the ball pretty good tonight, other than that last third down where he didn't get his feet underneath him, but he's thrown the ball well. Haven't run the ball very effectively.
Right.
They've been it through the passing game, so it might not be a bad opportunity right here on this first down to take a shot and see if they can get something doing. Maybe get Cameron Green streaking down the field.
Bernard back out there. He's got 4 receivers. 2 of those to the right are stacked in near the tackle. Alex Tata, the tailback behind him. They're going to hand to him right side on the stretch play. Good cut, and he is going to get dropped out near the 33-yard line. Not a bad gain on first down by Alex Tata.
I think they're going to stop to throw the ball some to open up that Stag defense because they've stacked the box. They're man up on the outside, cover 0, cover 1 with man-to-man coverage, so they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit to loosen that run, get that run game going.
Minute 20 to play first quarter. 7-0 Miege leads. It's been a defensive-minded first frame here from Bishop Miege. Two receivers to the left side for Bernard. He'll line up in the pistol. Again, Alex Tata, the junior tailback rather, lines up behind him. They're going to play fake to him. Bernard is going to roll this way, flare it out. It is intercepted. Coming back the other way, cut back, and Jazeer Cox is going to house it from 35 yards away. 13-0 Stags.
That play just did not look good at all from the beginning for the Tigers. The play fake looked bobbled up, and the blocking wasn't there, and Bernard just threw it kind of up in the air, and Cox was right there, made a nice catch, had to kind of go back behind himself to get the ball, gets it, and streaks untouched for the pick six. And how about that? The Stags defense puts 6 points up on the board.
So Jazeer Cox, the strong safety, makes a good break on a pass that looked to be a little bit overthrown by Luke Bernard. And he returns it 35 yards. And the extra point kick is good. 14-0 Stags on your Sports Radio 810 High School Game of the Week. Eric Olson, Brennan Barber back deep to return this kick for Blue Valley in a 14-0 hole. Short kick, Eric Olson is going to field it at the 7-yard line. He's going to angle up the right hash mark, now get out to the sideline, 30, 35, 40, and he steamed over the kicker and is run out of bounds near the 48-yard line. Eric Olson, a good return, and he gives Blue Valley great field position again.
Two of them. He's kind of been one of the lone bright spots so far for the Tigers, and you know, it's what you expect from when you're senior leaders to do things like that when you're down in a hole like that, and gets this Tigers offense a nice starting position. But so far, the story is Bishop Miege's newcomers are out-dueling Blue Valley's newcomers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's so many question marks on both sides of the ball of who was going to come up and step up after both teams had huge departures. And so far, it's the new guys like Jazeer Cox stepping up and making big plays for the Stags.
42 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Give Tata right side on the stretch play, and he's only going to pick up a couple out near the 49-yard line. We are inside 40 seconds to play in the first quarter, and this is the first time we have seen the other quarterback in this offense, Walker Kinney.
Yeah, I saw him warming up, and he looks good from a physical standpoint. 6'3", 205 pounds, and he is a big guy, and he threw the ball very, very well in warm-ups. Maybe a guy that can throw the ball down the field vertically. We'll see if they decide to open up the playbook up a little bit more here as the clock ticks on to just seconds left here in this first quarter.
Should be the last play of the frame. Kinney is going to give it away on a fly sweep to Bergman, and he is going to get chopped down back near the 46-yard line. Loss of a couple on the play, and that's going to take us down to the end of quarter number one. Bishop Miege dominates the first 12 minutes. They lead 14-0 on your Sports Radio 810 High School Game of the Week.
Look out in the street there. You know what
All-Pro. He is Jeremy Crabtree, 14-0. Bishop Miege. They get a 16-yard touchdown run by Bryson Cobbins in that opening quarter and a 35-yard pick six by the strong safety Jazir Cox. And now they have got Blue Valley in a little bit of trouble here. 3rd and 10 at their own 47-yard line. Got to get out across the Bishop Miege 43 to pick up a first down. 4 receivers in the formation. Kinney, short drop. Now he's going to step up, nearly get sacked. Throw over the middle is tipped up in the air and incomplete. 4th down, and the punt unit, no doubt, will get called upon again for the Tigers.
Yeah, but right there you kind of saw why the coaches want to get Kinney on the field because, boy, that ball had some zip on it. Problem is he threw it right to where the middle linebacker was standing. He got very lucky that it didn't get intercepted. But how about this? The Tigers are going to go for it. Down 14, 4th and 10. Key moment in this game right here at the start of the second quarter.
Don't be surprised if Kinney tries a rugby-style punt here. And now flags fly on the hard count. And they got Miege to move up front.
Ah, the old high school play. We get the 5 free yards now. Now you know what? It opens up the playbook now. Now you can maybe legitimately go for it here on 4th and 5. You can do a lot of different things here.
So 4th and 5, and we may not necessarily see that rugby punt that Blue Valley is so accustomed to doing on 4th and long situations.
Oh, yeah, I remember
they did it a lot last year.
Colton McCumber a couple years ago just doing that till he was so good at that.
And now Kinney is going to step back into the shotgun. And now flags fly, and it's a false start. So that 5 yards you got for free, good to take that right back.
Oh, welcome to week 1 in Kansas high school football. That happens, but you don't expect those types of things from these types of teams. So well coached, and 2 of the premier programs in the entire metro area, 2 of the premier programs in the entire state of Kansas. You don't expect little mistakes like that.
And now Kinney is going to take the shotgun snap, and he's going to sure enough set up and punt this one. It hits inside the 20, rolls all the way down inside the 10, inside the 5. What a kick. Kinney
That'll work.
is going to have his punt down inside the 2-yard line. Boys, they love doing that rugby-style punt out of the shotgun on a 4th and long, and Walker Kinney is just one in a long line of Blue Valley quarterbacks.
Every Blue Valley, it's like a requirement. Obviously, they practice it, and it works well because you have a quarterback out there, can't scheme against it.
Yeah, you can't really drop someone back in a punt return formation. And so that'll put Miege inside their own 2-yard line. 11:41 to play, second quarter, up 14-0.
Obviously, punch, you got to be careful with the handling the football here. A mistake could turn into 6 points or even a safety. Good thing is you got a senior quarterback that is used to these types of high-pressure situations, but you got to be careful with the football.
3 receivers in the formation. Putts. Hands off, right side, Bryson Cobbins. He finds some room. He's across the 20 to the 30. He's got a ton of room. Midfield, he's not going to be caught. Bryson Cobbins is going to go 98 yards to the house, and it's 20-0.
And he does it in sprinter style, crossing the tape at the finish line. Nice patience by Cobbins right there. We talked a lot about that in the first quarter, about he was kind of picking and choosing, waiting for the blocking to develop, and he did that once again. He knew that he had time and trusted his offensive line to open up the hole, and once he got into that second level, it was bye-bye. Guys, this guy's just a sophomore. 5'7", 165 pounds, had 841 yards rushing. Boy, he's racking up the yards here tonight, and he is going to easily be a very, very special player here for the Stags, like what we're seeing for its second touchdown on the night.
Extra point kick up and good. 21-0 Miege on your Sports Radio 810 High School Game of the Week. 21-0 all of a sudden. 11:26 to play here till halftime. Bishop Miege, they are hitting on all cylinders right now.
Yeah. We talked in the break about this could get ugly, and we knew that this was going to be an emotional game for the Tigers. Obviously, when you lose your head coach so tragically, it's hard to get back up, and there's just not been a lot of emotion at all tonight from this Tigers
Olsen
squad.
off the 10-yard line, up the wedge near the 25 left hash mark to the 30, and he spins forward to about the 33-yard line. And here comes that Blue Valley offense. They have got to find something, Jeremy, in a huge hole to arguably the best offense in Kansas.
Yeah, and it's not come from the run game. They've tried the run game. It's not working. They've had some good opportunities. Luke Bernard looked good until he threw the interception. And Walker Kinney almost threw a pick there. So, I mean, they have some opportunities. I think they're going to have to throw the football if they want to get back in this game somehow, some way, because the run game is not there right there. And Kinney goes back out there here for this second series.
4 receivers in the formation for Walker Kinney, the 6'3", 205-pound junior quarterback. Checks over to the far sideline. Gets his play call in. Now takes the snap. Gives straight up the middle. And nothing doing on the ground. Maybe a gain of a yard for Eric Olson, the reserve tailback.
Yeah, they're trying to do new guys at running back. Olson, the free safety, one of the senior leaders, just nothing there. They've tried the right side. They've tried the left side. They tried up the middle there. There's just nothing there. Tip your hat to this very stingy Stags defense. Again, they're doing this without one of their star linebackers, too, shutting down a very good Blue Valley offense.
2 to the left, 2 to the right. And again, a pistol set for Kinney. Short drop. Steps up, throws right side, and he overshoots his receiver by, about 5 feet. That one nowhere in the ballpark near Benjamin DeZub, and it'll be 3rd and long.
And DeZub was open, too. He was breaking on a curl route, and the defensive back, Cameron Key, fell down. He was open. If Kinney could put that ball right in the money, it's a first down and more. And he does look good throwing the ball. The ball is spinning off of his hand really well. It's just hasn't been very accurate so far. So I can see why the coaches like him and want to get him involved, but obviously got to improve the accuracy right now.
Kinney, low snap, running out of time. He's going to step up, and he's going to get dropped. Loss of 2 back to the 32-yard line. And the punt unit will get called upon again for Blue Valley.
Nothing is working right for this Tigers offense. And on both sides of the ball, just seemed emotionally flat. I mean, you don't want to go back to the emotions, but just looking out there, the way that it seems like they're kind of going through the motions. It's tough to get up emotionally with everything that they've gone through. Stags, their sidelines fired up, their crowds fired up. Just not the type in Blue Valley that we're used to seeing year in and year out.
Inside 10 minutes to go till halftime. Here comes the punt block team, and they got it again. This one is off the side of the foot, and it bounces near the 33-yard line. That punt nets 0 yards after it was blocked, and here comes the Miege offense.
There was 3 guys back there that could have blocked the football. It was kind of a pick and choose. They almost kind of had to stop and wait for you want it? I'll take it. No, go ahead. You take it.
Go ahead.
It did. It worked really, really well for them, but, oh, boy. What a predicament right now for the Tigers, and the Stags can really kind of put their throats, put their foot on the throat of the Tigers right here if they can get in the end zone here.
21-0. 9:47 to play in this second quarter in a game that has been dominated so far by Bishop Miege, the number 2 team in the city. And just a reminder that tonight's game is brought to you by the Sports Medicine Performance Center at the University of Kansas Health System. Also brought to you by the McCarthy Chevrolet, where you get $1,000 trade assistance plus $500 down payment assistance with the purchase of any new Chevrolet at all 3 McCarthy Chevrolet locations, Olathe, Lee Summit, and Marshall. And finally, A&B Car Star, which has been serving the Kansas City area since 1964 with 5 convenient locations, locally owned and operated by a proud sponsor of high school football on Sports Radio 810 WHB. So back to work goes the Miege offense, who really has not been slowed all night. Up 3 scores from the Blue Valley 33. High snap to Putz. Sets up. Looking to go left. Now he's going to step up, and he's going to get dropped back near the 35-yard line. A loss of 2. And a sack by the linebacker, Alex Tottenham.
And that's what you call a coverage sack right there, because Putz was looking. Good job by this Tigers defensive staff. Oh, now a late flag.
And it looks like this one might go against Blue Valley.
Extra late.
Miege was clapping as if it was going to go against Blue Valley.
Unsportsmanlike, wow.
Yep, against the Tigers.
Maybe a little bit too much extracurricular activity after the tackle, after the big sack. I mean, but boy, I didn't see anything that looked extravagant or over the top.
Must have said something. Had to have.
It had to have been something like that. Yeah, you're right, Tim. You're right.
So what was a 2nd and 12 back at the 35 suddenly becomes a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line, and Miege is back in the red zone.
If you're the Tiger coaching staff, just got to be so frustrated. You make a big play, then you shoot yourselves in the foot.
Right. 2 tailbacks in the formation, flanking Putz. Play fake, has time. Steps up in the pocket, flag flies. Now he's going to tuck it and run. Across the 19-yard line, he's going to get dropped at the 18. Boy, he took a shot right in the face masks. And there is a flag on the far side of the field, but Carter Putz.
You have to. That's often thrown in the defensive holding type of position here. We'll see what the play call is. They're going to wave it off.
Yeah.
All right.
So no penalty. And it'll be 2nd, let's call it 9, maybe a gain of a yard by Carter Putz on the scramble. But like I said, man, he took a shot at the end of that one.
And he doesn't take too many shots. He's so elusive back there and manages always to find a way to step up. But, boy, the 3-4 Tigers laid a big hit on him there.
Putz, pistol snap, gives Cameron Clark pushing the pile across the 17-yard line. It'll be 3rd and, let's call it 7 for the Stags.
Well, and we saw they don't like to punt the football, Wallet,
right.
so maybe, or kick field goals here. So maybe this is a two-down situation. You try to get some manageable yards to make it maybe a 4th and manageable here, but certainly the way their offense is operated tonight, 7 yards isn't too big of an ask.
3 receivers in the formation for Putz. Cobbins back into the game at tailback. Putz, short drop, steps up, scrambles to the right, and he is going to get dropped back to the 23-yard line. Just got it back to the line of scrimmage, and another coverage sack, something you were talking about earlier, and now it's 4th down.
Yeah, you know what? The Tigers defense made a mistake, but then manages to fight through it and going to get the field goal attempt here when you get the short gain on that 3rd down.
So Sam Pedrati will line up for what is a 35-yarder just inside the left hash mark. This kick is well short. And so Blue Valley comes up with a stop, and the Tigers will get the ball back. 7:50 to play before halftime, down 21-0.
Well, let's get you some scores. Don't forget you can log on to 810varsity.com for all your scores. Number 1 in the city, Blue Springs, against the number 2 team in the state of Arkansas, Fayetteville Bulldogs. Blue Springs up 9-3. Interesting score here. Lee Summit up 7-0 over Fort Osage. Fort Osage is one of the teams that could potentially do very well this season, but Lee Summit's been blasted the first 2 weeks. And how about this? This is a score from on the Kansas side. St. James 17, Mill Valley 7.
Wow.
That would be a major upset considering St. James has never beaten Mill Valley. So that certainly would reverberate a lot through the western parts of Johnson County if that scoreline stays the same.
So here comes that Blue Valley offense again. Kenny back to work. He throws a slant that is tipped up in the air, and it is incomplete. So that one closer to an interception than a completion. And now it's 2nd and 10.
Obviously, they like Kenny's arm. I mean, it's very obvious they want him to be the thrower in this offense because they're not really even trying to do any kind of quarterback run game like what Blue Valley traditionally does with him. So they're just trying to line him up and see if he can get something down the field.
4 receivers in the formation. Kenny checks the far sideline for the play call. 2 left, 2 right. Out of that pistol set, this Blue Valley offense has not done much all half. Kenny throws over the middle, complete, a 1st down and more across midfield, and in a foot races Bergman, and he is across the 20, 15, 10, and dragged down from behind near the 7-yard line. Shane Bergman, the biggest play of the night for Blue Valley, has him knocking on the door.
You know what? Nice pass by Kenny. We've been knocking his accuracy, but he put that one right on the money, right in stride, and Bergman was gone. And a nice, hey, you can give the Stags credit. They fought back and didn't give up on the play. Could have easily gone for the touchdown, but that's maybe the spark that this Blue Valley entire team has been missing all night long. We'll see if they can put this one in the end zone and make this a game.
Bergman just didn't have the speed to pull away at the end, but he's still got him inside the 10-yard line, down to the 7.
But now you got to put this in the end zone if you're the Tigers. Have to.
3 left, 1 right, and some life onto that Blue Valley sideline. They hand off up the middle to Olsen. Nowhere going in the middle. No gain, and they'll be 2nd and goal.
Yeah, the run game has just been non-existent all night long. Credit this big Bishop Miege defensive line. Jalen Williams, Connor Dumet, one of the returning senior starters, Sean Ryan, and Tyler Portier doing a nice job up front. And then Dylan Dallin, always, number 33 is going to be near the football. They've done a nice job of keeping this Blue Valley run game here in check.
Inside 7 to play, second quarter, 21-0 Miege. But Blue Valley, they are knocking on the door here. 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line. 3 left, 1 right. Kinney. Short drop, sets up, throws right side. It is incomplete. He was looking for Olsen in the end zone, and he overshot him. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Yeah, they tried the wheel route coming out of the backfield with Olsen, like you said, and it was defended really, really well there. Several of the Stag defenders read that really well. Henry Gibson was the main guy in coverage back there. The backup linebacker playing a lot tonight with Watsky's absence from the ineligible situation. But nice one-on-one coverage there. Like the play call there, just wasn't there. So now it's 3rd and 7. 2 plays to get this into the end zone for the Tigers.
Big play for Blue Valley. Kinney hands off to Tutta up the middle, and he's blown out back at the 8-yard line. 3 red jerseys waiting for Alex Tutta in the hole, and the field goal unit will be called on.
Yeah, Henry Gibson right there again. We've called his name on back-to-back plays. Interesting that they're going to go for the field goal to get some points on the board here. I know 3 points is going to do it with this Stags offense. I would probably go for it if I was Coach Terrell, but he trusts in his defense. They have played well at times here tonight.
Likens 5 of 7 on field goal tries last year. This one from the right hash will be a 25-yarder.
Maybe a fake.
Snap down, good hold. The kick is up and through. 21-3, the Tigers get on the board after the big play by Bergman. And they cut into that big lead, 21-3 on your Sports Radio 810 High School Game of the Week.
Kansas City.
(21-3) Bishop Miege. The Tigers are on the board after the 25-yard field goal from Jackson Likens. He's got it teed off. Bryson Coburns, Cameron Key back deep to return for Bishop Miege. A high kick is going to hit out of bounds near the 11-yard line, and that's going to give Miege great starting field position.
This is one thing you don't want to do. Don't want to give Bishop Miege good field position. Let's get you another couple of scores here. Blue Valley North up 21-0 over Blue Valley Northwest. St. Thomas Aquinas, a team that I'm really excited to see this year. They're rolling Gardner Edgerton, which is no surprise. They're up 28-0 here. Still St. James 17 over Mill Valley 7. So that's going to be one of the surprises of the Knights if they're managed to pull that one up. And Free State's up over Shawnee Mission West 28-2. That's another very interesting score.
3 receivers in the formation for Carter Putz on a first down. He's going to hand off. Running near side is Bryson Cobbins, and he gets dropped about 5 yards deep in the backfield.
Hold, look like a flag in the middle of the interior line, maybe a hold. We'll see.
They're going to spot it back near the 30, but they're going to tend to the flag here. And they're walking back as if it is against Miege.
You know, it's the first time we've seen the crowd kind of get into it here on this Blue Valley side. You know, they've been kind of lifeless all night long, and honestly, the Tigers' entire team had been kind of emotionally flat until that long pass play, and that suddenly woke them up here. Getting the field goal certainly helps, and defense with a nice play there, and then obviously the 10-yard penalty there to set up a 1st and 20 situation. But you know, there is some sign of life here from the Tigers here. Let's see if they can get the ball back, get this Miege offense off the field.
They spot the Stags at their own 20. Putz, short drop, throws, slant route complete near the 28-yard line, and getting dropped immediately was Daniel Jackson, the sophomore receiver.
I'm used to seeing number 3 being Jafar Armstrong, and all the success that he had at number 3. Him and Putz just were incredible hookup last season. Obviously, Jafar is now at Notre Dame.
Putz running out of time, scrambles near side. He throws it out of the reach of Bryson Cobbins. It almost looked like he was throwing that away, and then Bryson Cobbins had a little bit of an acceleration burst, and he almost caught up to that one. And now it's going to be 3rd and long. They got to get all the way out to the 45-yard line for a 1st down.
Last couple drives, we've seen something that we don't normally see. Carter Putz laying on the ground after being hit by a Blue Valley defender here. So the Tigers maybe starting to figure out a couple different ways to get to him, showing multiple looks. They're now in a 3-man front.
Here comes Putz on a 3rd and 17. Rainbows deep right side. It is underthrown and intercepted at midfield. Olsen hauls it in, and Blue Valley is back in business. They're going to take over at midfield.
Yeah, he was all over the field in this game last season. 7 tackles and 1 sack. Had a big pass breakup late in the game. And coming up with a big play now, if they can somehow get this ball into the end zone here, get more momentum their way. Still a tall task here. You know, you're down 21-3, but a lot of game left here. But some emotion from this Blue Valley side that we've not seen all night long now on both sides of the football.
Inside 5 to play till halftime. Kinney checks the far sideline. He's got 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left out of the pistol formation. 4-man to front defensively for Bishop Miege. Fade left side is incomplete. Nearly a one-handed catch on the far side. They were looking for Blake Brown. Here comes 2nd and 10.
I think we found something with Walker Kinney, though, with the way that he throws that football. It is just zipping out of his arm. If they can kind of harness his accuracy in some way, somehow, moving forward through this game, moving forward through the season, there's a lot to work with right there. I can see why Coach Terrell said that both quarterbacks will play tonight, and why Walker Kinney is going to get some playing time the rest of this year. He's got a nice arm. Plus, he's 6'3", 205. That doesn't hurt either.
That's a great build for a quarterback. And again, only a junior. But he's got to get more consistent in this one if he wants to bring the Tigers back. He's going to give to Tata, who tries to bounce it out left side. Nothing there for Alex Tata. Bounced off a couple, but he's only able to drive the pile up near the 49-yard line, if that, and it'll be 3rd and long.
That was the definition of a gang tackle. 10 of the 11 stack defenders were within a yard of him on that play. They just are going to eat up that run game all night long. So that's why, if you're Blue Valley, try that quick passing game. Try something other than dropping Kenny back in the quarterback and back in the pocket and expecting him to have time to throw the football. Quick passes, quick passes, quick passes.
Kenny on a 3rd and long. Checks the far sideline. Ball sits at the 48. Got to get out to the 40 for a 1st down. Kenny will roll right. Look back to his left. Now he's going to step up and run it across the 45, and it is going to get dropped near the 43-yard line, just 3 yards shy of that 1st down marker. And let's see if Coach Alan Terrell chooses to go for it here.
I don't know if you remember that play. They were trying to throw back screen to the tight end that they ran to get for the 2-point conversion against Shawnee Missionaries in the sub-state playoff game that they won in double overtime?
Yeah.
In overtime, whatever it was. But they tried that play. Nice recognition by the Stags defense. They were ready for it. They had 2 defenders around the tight end, and Kenny had to eat the football.
Offense stays out there. And now they start walking towards the sideline. We're going to have a timeout for the Tigers of Blue Valley High School. 3:22 to play here before halftime. Terrell wants to talk about it. And again, it's a busy night in the area. Obviously, games going on in Missouri, and this is the opening week in Kansas. A lot of really good matchups. Again, obviously, everyone in the top 25 in action. The number 1 team is in action, Blue Springs. against a Fayetteville squad that they lost to a year ago without Jalen Ivey, but Ivey should be back for that one, and they were up early in that one.
Now Fayetteville's come back, and Fayetteville's one of those Northwest Arkansas programs that is just tremendous. Bentonville, I mean, if you follow national football like I do, and I know you're from down in Oklahoma, so you're aware that Northwest Arkansas football is absolutely tremendous, and Fayetteville as coach left there and went over to Owasso, and Owasso had in week one of the biggest wins in the entire country, whooping up on Jinx. And, tonight, I haven't seen the score yet, but it's Jinx and Union here tonight in high school football. Or no, that's next week. Jinx and Union next week in Oklahoma, and that always is just a tremendous game. But Blue Springs now down, the number one team in the city, now down 10-9. Another score, Lee Summit North 14-9 over Blue Springs South. We saw them in week one, and Lee Summit's still up over Fort Osage, 14-7, and Billy Maple's show at Park Hill continues to roll on. They're up 21-0 over city rivals Park Hill South.
So here comes the fourth down out of the timeout. Kenny sets up with a shotgun, 3 left, 1 right. Eyes the far sideline, Alex Tata, the running back to his right. 4-man front defensively for Miege. Short snap, this pass is incomplete on the slant route through the hands of Blake Brown, and that throw was actually there for Brown.
Just unable to get it there, and that's, again, I talked just a few minutes ago about quick passes, because you're not going to get time to sit in the pocket against this Stag defensive line. The slant route was there, just got to come up with that catch, especially with your senior leader at receiver.
So 21-3, Miege will get the ball back after the Carter Putz interception on their last drive.
That's got to be an emotional letdown right there. If you're the Tigers, got to hope your defense makes a play here.
Putz hands off straight up the middle, and somehow Cameron Clark bounces off 2 tacklers, gets it outside and across midfield. He picks up 8 yards somehow, and it looks like he was dead to rights at the line of scrimmage. Second and 2 as they set up shop across midfield. Inside 3 to play till halftime. 3 left, 2 right, empty formation for the senior quarterback, Carter Putz. Short drop. Rainbows deep right side, has a man out there, caught across the 10-5, touchdown. 49 yards away, and Daniel Jackson is in the end zone. It's 27-3.
That was a substitution package. They brought in 2 speedsters. Daniel Jackson, one of them there on the slot, along with Philip Wesley, and they both streaked down the middle of the field. And guess what? It was wide open. Jackson got behind the defensive back, and Putz put it like he's done in his entire career right on the money. Now, that's 87 career touchdown passes in his career there for the Stags, and that one was a thing of beauty.
Extra point kick, good. 28-3, all Stags on your Sports Radio 810 High School Game of the Week.
Tom,
Eric Olson, Brendan Barber back deep to return this kick. It is going to be fielded by Olson inside the 5-yard line. Near sideline, out to the right, hash mark, back out to the right sideline, across the 27, dragging a man, and now he's gang tackled near the 29-yard line. And here comes the Blue Valley offense, 2:33 to go before halftime, and they have struggled the entire way in this one.
Yeah, they got to be careful and not make a mistake here. If they make a mistake here, or even have to punt the football back, with the way that this Stag offense has just moved up and down the field all game long, this game could
You might be saying
it might be over. Yeah. It might be over. So you got to do something positive. Even if you run the football and get a couple first downs to eat this 2:33 off the clock, do something positive here. You do not want to give the Stags the ball back.
So now they go back to the original starter, Luke Bernard, at quarterback. He played most of that first quarter, and he's back in with 2.5 to play before halftime. Takes the pistol snap, hands off to Olsen running right side, and he falls down across the 29 near the 30, and a timeout taken by John Holmes with 2:26 to go before half.
They certainly they realize this. They realize if they can get some sort of points here, that it could be a really, really tough road to hoe for Blue Valley to come back in this game. So I like the timeout call. He's done this before.
We haven't talked about the crowd tonight, but boy, it is standing room only here. And it is, boy, this is a couple thousand people here easily. They have got people lined up around the track in the back of the end zone, and I'm sure they're going to do something here at half. Again, we haven't talked too much about Coach Driscoll, but I think they're going to do something here at halftime. And the coaches, actually, that was pretty cool. You pointed that out to me. The coaches for Miege were actually wearing that Blue Valley shirt there during pregame. They're still wearing it. Yeah,
and it's just shows you how interconnected the entire coaching community throughout the entire metro area is with each other, and how shocking and how well loved Eric Driscoll was. It was one that reverberated not just here locally but nationally. I mean, I talked to college football coaches on the other side of the country that knew Coach Driscoll and respected him, and they were just shocked by that. And the Tigers are going to be playing for him all season long, and hopefully more things go more positive than what they are tonight for them the rest of the season. They will. I mean, this is a good football team. They just happen to be playing a really good football team tonight.
Bernard is going to step up into a sack back near the 21-yard line. He was looking right into the face mask of Jalen Williams, the 6'3", 215-pound D-end, and another timeout for Miege.
Yeah, they've got Williams, and they also brought Antonio Manning, who had that block earlier that would have resulted in the touchdown. He's had a couple good plays, and a sophomore. I mean, there's so many young players up and down this Bishop Miege roster that make you think that if they find a quarterback next season to back up Hutz, and then they've done that. There's never been a shortage of quarterback talent at Bishop Miege in the last decade. Started under Tim Grunhard and has continued here into John Holmes. If they can find a quarterback to go with some of this young talent, then look out, and they're going to dominate the EKL. But boy, that was just a jailbreak right there. Manning untouched, Williams untouched, and both those guys underclassmen that will be guys that may be on that recruiting radar here as they develop. And I like the timeout. I mean, they're going to have almost at least 1:30 on the clock here before they get this ball back, maybe even more time.
It is a 3rd and 19. They lose 9 on the sack. They got to get out to the 39 for a first down. Bernard checks the sideline, 3 to the left, 1 to the right, into the pistol. Alex Tata, the tailback, behind him in the formation. Miege still has a timeout to use. Bernard will give to Tata running the right side, and he gets dropped near the 34-yard line. And a third timeout for John Holmes with 2:15 to play in this first half, ensures that he will get the ball back with plenty of time.
Yeah, and that drive for Blue Valley took less than 20 seconds off the clock, obviously, with Miege burning all 3 of their timeouts. And we know they can move the ball quickly up and down the field. 2:15 is an eternity for this offense, and your senior quarterback, Carter Putz, and the way that he's throwing the football, not just tonight, but his entire career. And they usually operate as a hurry-up, high, go-fast type system. So, 2:15 is an eternity.
28-3. And Carter Putz, he's only thrown 1 touchdown tonight. He hasn't been very busy, hasn't had to be. Bryson Cobbins has got 2 touchdown runs, one from 16 yards away to open up the scoring in this one, and then he opened up the second quarter with a 98-yard touchdown run. They had a pick 6 at the end of the first quarter from Jazir Cox, the strong safety. And then just a couple minutes ago, we talked about it, that catch and run for Daniel Jackson. That was the first touchdown throw of the night for Carter Putz. And again, 28-3, 2:15 to go. And now Miege
they're going to get great field position here, too, unless the Blue Valley special teams bail them out here. But don't forget, we've had 2 punt blocks here, so maybe they go after another one.
Cameron Key stands just shy of midfield. They're showing punt block, and they're coming after this one. This time they get it away. A short, wobbling punt near the sideline of midfield. Cameron Key takes it. Takes one step out across the 45, and now he gets wrestled down near the 43-yard line by a host of Tigers. And now here comes that Stags offense, 2:03 to play till halftime. Bishop Miege.
An eternity.
Yeah, this is too much time for this offense. And again, they've won 4A1 the last 3 years. They've lost 2 games in the last 3 years, both to this Blue Valley club.
These teams are combined 138 and 33 over the last 7 years. I'm not great at math, but that's about 80% winning percentage. These are 2 of the premier programs. Not just not locally, statewide, but nationally. You can make an argument when you win 80% of your games, that's going to be a lot of national attention.
Flag flies on the snap. Putts deep out route is complete across the 30-yard line out near the 28-yard line, complete to Peyton Hambrick. But there was a flag at the snap, and it looks like this one might be coming back.
Yeah, you guys listening on the radio don't understand. I know that play's going to be wiped up, but you don't understand how incredible that throw was by Carter Putz. That was a 12, 15-yard out, and it was on a dart.
To the far side
side of the field, right where the receivers could have stepped out of bounds to stop the clock. It was a perfect throw, wiped off here because of the 5-yard penalty.
So they spawn it back at the 47 of Blue Valley. Inside 2 to play till halftime. Putz again from the pistol, 3 right and 1 left. Low snap. Hands off left side, churning his feet as Bryson Cobbins out to the 40-yard line. Pick up 7 yards. Clock continues to run.
Still an eternity of time here. Miege right back up on the line. Makes 1 quick substitution and back at it.
Empty formation. 3 right, 2 left. Putz, low snap, bounces into him, picks it up. Now he's going to rocket one right side. It is complete and getting out of bounds right at the sticks was the slot receiver, Quinn Schieber, and he should have a first down.
I tell you what, that last throw a couple plays ago was impressive, but that was even more impressive. The snap was on the ground, and he had to go down and pick it up and just stumbled and somehow still manages to throw a dart that almost gets the first down. Still 3rd and 1, but what an impressive throw by Carter Putz.
They ruled Schieber just short of that first down marker. 1:28 to go in the second quarter. They hand off straight up the middle, hurdling one man and falling forward near the 26-yard line is Cameron Clark, and a first down for the Stags. Quickly back to the line, though. Clock stops momentarily at 1:23, and now they'll wheel it. Miege, well, they don't need a lot of time. They are churning. 3 left, 1 right. Putz. Shotgun snap. Looking left side, looking for the end zone. Now he's going to tuck it and run. Right side across the 20, 15, and he steps out of bounds near the 10-yard line.
A late hit. Whoa. Nope, they didn't call it.
Got tagged from behind. But, yeah, you said it. No flags fly.
But this shows you how deadly this Miege offense is. It was defended so well by the defensive backs from Blue Valley, and he was just able to escape the pocket and shows his escapability. Gets up there now, sets up this 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line.
4 receivers again in the formation. Putz steps back, throws out route, complete, stepping out of bounds again is Quinn Schieber. And again, that stops the clock. This 2-minute offense is efficient.
They're just pinpoint accuracy. It's almost not fair when you have a quarterback like that can do those types of things. This is what happens with the advent of 7-on-7 football throughout the country. These Kansas and Missouri teams have been throwing these types of 2-minute offenses all summer long. They know where the receivers are going to be.
Short drop, throws for the end zone, caught on the slant route, and a touchdown. Peyton Hamrick from 7 yards away, the second touchdown throw of the night for Carter Putz. And it's now 34-3.
I tell you what, that's almost an NFL-type play. Carter Putz just threw it to a spot. He knew that his receiver was going to out-battle the defensive back, and that's exactly what Peyton Hamrick did right there. He battled for that touchdown catch and a nice drive. Didn't even need 2 minutes, just needed about 1 minute and 5 seconds here to get into the end zone.
Extra point good.
Wow.
All Miege, 35-3 on your Sports Radio 810 High School Game of the Week.
Sometimes in life you can have
Carlson and Barber back deep. This is going to be a short kick out of bounds. And that's going to set Blue Valley up at their own 35-yard line. 59.6 seconds to go before halftime. But it's been all Stags to this point, 35-3.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the guys back in the studio, Brad and Chad, have to say about this game. But a lot of other great games across the metro area. Don't forget, you can log on to 810varsity.com for scores on both sides of the state line. I'm sure they'll break down the Staley-Platte County game. There's just so many great games on both sides of the state line tonight. And Staley's up 21-20 over Platte County up in North Kansas City. That's going to be a battle. And how about the Battle of Liberty? Liberty Blue Jays 7 and Robert Rowie so far held into check. Liberty North 7. So that's going to be a fun battle to see what happens the rest of the way.
Bernard, short drop on first down. He's going to zip it far side, incomplete. A diving attempt made by Blake Brown, and it's 2nd and 10.
Tell you what, they got to be careful here. If they throw 3 quick incompletions, you might get the ball back with 30 seconds with the way that they've operated.
This is not necessarily a sign of things to come for Blue Valley, but it's. No. I mean, you're going against maybe the best team in the state of Kansas in your first game with a lot of young players making their first varsity appearance.
And all the emotional stuff that we can harp on all night long, but it's got to be tough right now for these Tigers. It's going to be a gut-wrenching halftime discussion with Coach Terrell and his guys. I mean, just so many emotions are going to be poured out at halftime. This is not how you want to start your season, but also, how can you blame the kids for not being able to get up for something like this and not, they've suffered through so much adversity so far the last 6-7 months here, and to then have to do your first game of the year after that coming up on the road in a packed house against the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Kansas and a very, very good Bishop Miege squad.
Second down pass was incomplete. 3rd and 10. They hand off up the middle. Fumble. It is picked up by Miege and roped down inside the 27-yard line was the linebacker Dylan Downing, who picked it up, and another turnover in this first half. The Stags are set up with great field position, 39 seconds to play still till half.
Yeah, just, that's a play right there where, you're just not emotionally into it right there when you make a mistake like that. And the Stags are right on the spot to make the big recovery. Downing was right there along with 3 or 4 other guys, but that's one thing Blue Valley doesn't do normally. They do not fumble the football. They don't throw interceptions. They don't make silly mistakes, and that's what we've seen a lot of tonight, and a lot of hands on hips right now for the Tigers. They're just not used to having to go through this, and it's just got to be an emotional gut check right now.
Miege from the Blue Valley 26. Putz, shotgun snap, has time. Stepping up, flag flies. Now he's going to scramble, tuck it, and run it right side, and going to get thrown out of bounds near the 25-yard line. Slow to get up is Carter Putz. But now he'll jog back, but we should have a hold here against the Stags.
Yeah, that was a hold, very clear. And I'm impressed. I mean, I have been impressed with Putz's toughness throughout his career, but he's taken some big hits tonight and has bounced back up every single time. I thought it was interesting. I was looking at the 2 deep. We get 2 deeps each week from the coaching staffs and talk to the coaches about the 2 deeps and who's doing what. There was no backup quarterback listed for Bishop Miege, so they just truly believe that Carter Putz is a tough guy. I'm sure that there is a backup quarterback. We know that, but there wasn't one listed on the 2 deep. That's just how much they really rely on him and depend on him, and he showed some tremendous toughness throughout his career, but especially tonight with some big hits.
3 left, 1 right. 2nd and long, and now flags fly at the snap. We're going to have another false start. Well, no. We're going to have an encroachment against Blue Valley. Well, now it's a false start, so I don't know if you saw the far side referee.
I did. He was
but signaled against Blue Valley, and then the head official says, no, I don't know what you're talking about. False start, Miege. So
hey, it's the first game for them, too.
Yeah, the refs are trying to iron it out as well. So 2nd and real long. Putz, short drop, throws over the middle, complete across the 37 to about the 36-yard line. Another reception for Daniel Jackson. Had the 49-yard touchdown a while ago. Back to the line, 12 seconds. Putz, flag flies to the snap.
This never got set.
Now 10 seconds. And, yeah, like you said, they didn't get set offensively. No timeouts left. And a legal procedure is going to mark him back at the Blue Valley 41-yard line. Still a long way to go. I don't think they're thinking first down, though. I think they're thinking touchdown or nothing.
I think
here.
they're going to try to throw a couple into the end zone here. Well, 10 seconds, you maybe get one.
They'd have to get down to the 16 for a first down. Putz. Short drop. Here comes pressure. He's going to evade it. Roll right side. Now he's going to step up, tuck it, and run, but he's only going to get out across the 40 to the 39-yard line, and that'll take us to halftime. 35-3. An offensive onslaught from the Stags of Bishop Miege. And the number one team in 4A1 sure looks a lot like the number one team in Kansas, regardless of the class. They lead by 32 on your Sports Radio 810 High School Game of the Week. Bryson Cobbins has got a couple of touchdowns. He had a big 98-yard touchdown run. He had a 16-yard touchdown run. I mean, this is a full-fledged attack for Bishop Miege. I mean, they can hit you so many ways. Really, if Carter Putz didn't even throw the ball in this second half, I'm sure they'd still score 3 or 4 more touchdowns, no problem. And if you ask Jeremy, I'm sure he'll agree with me. This is much more than the Carter Putz show out here at Miege.
Yeah, I've been impressed with this Bishop Miege defense. You hold the Blue Valley team, and I know that they lost a lot on the offensive side of the ball, but don't hold them to 3 points. It has been really special, and to do it with missing one of their best players on the defensive side of the ball, Joe Watsky, who's out because of the ineligibility thing we talked about early on. Blue Valley can't run the football. The only time that they've had a big play was when they popped a quick pass, a little hitch play, and it was able to go big. But other than that, it has been absolutely nothing all night long. And you got to tip the hat to the Stags kind of defense. They've kind of everybody talks about the high explosive offense, but boy, they play some good defense over here in Roland Park.
Well, fellas, I'm pretty sure one of the things that was addressed at halftime with both sides, being week one, the penalties and especially the kickoffs going out of fumble the ball in the post-game show. So as soon as you guys are finished, send it on back, and we'll go around the city and get all the scores updated. Appreciate it, fellas.
We appreciate it, guys, and we welcome you back to Bishop Miege High School. 35-3, Jeremy. They talked about it at halftime. Obviously, we just talked about it right there in that little segment, but it was all Stags in that first half. Blue Valley will return this second half kickoff, and you're not necessarily thinking comeback, but maybe just get back to the basics, try to score a touchdown.
Yeah, and try to get something positive going on offense. They've not been able to move the ball, running the ball. Like we said just a second ago, the only big play that this Blue Valley offense has had came on a quick little hedge where it broke a tackle and he was gone. So get something positive going on the offensive side of the ball, and all starts right here in this first drive.
The kick is taken by Olsen at the 10-yard line, bounces outside of the 20 to the 24-yard line. He climbs before getting dropped. And here comes that Tiger attack that really, outside of that play that you just touched on to Bergman, was completely silent the entire first half. And now there's a Tiger slow to get up. So that adds a little bit of salt into the wound for Blue Valley.
Good news is that we haven't had, usually week one in Kansas City on the Kansas side, it's 1,000 degrees, and I mean, it is absolutely perfect. 71 degrees right now. We're outside here tonight, not in the press box, out here in the crowd, and this is great. I mean, I almost need to put on a little light jacket. Right. So no cramping, not normal stuff that what you see during week one of high school football in Kansas, and been very, very fortunate, and hopefully that goes the rest of the way tonight. But this is an absolutely amazing atmosphere. Both, as you mentioned earlier, both crowds have showed up quite well.
Back into the game at quarterback, Luke Bernard played a majority of that first half at quarterback. 3 left, 1 right in the formation. He's going to play fake, throw a slant behind his receiver, incomplete. He was looking for Blake Brown. But again, threw it a couple yards behind him. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, a couple yards is right. Did not get his feet set, and it was open. I mean, that was similar to the play that they sprung earlier in that second quarter that went big. It was open. You got to hit it to your receiver when he's wide open like that.
4 receivers in the formation again. Opening moments of this third quarter in a 32-point hole of the Tigers at 35-3. They went 12-1 a year ago, 6A runner-up. Slant route is complete across the 35 to the 40, and roped down near the 42 again is Shane Bergman. He has been the big play guy tonight for Blue Valley, and now he is slow to get up. In pain near the 42-yard line, favoring, it looks like, that left leg, I want to say.
I didn't see him. It didn't look like he went down awkwardly there. Unfortunately, that's do not want to see anybody get injured in a situation like this. First game of the season.
They help him up, and he is hobbled. He's going to have to be helped off the field. He's frustrated, you can tell, coming off the field. Hopefully we'll see Bergman again, but he's had the 2 biggest plays of the ball game for Blue Valley up to this point.
Yeah, simple hitch routes, and again, the Stags defense was laying a little bit off, so those are there if the Blue Valley offense can be patient and accept that.
4 receivers again, first down out to the 42-yard line. Bernard, hands off up the middle, nothing doing inside for Alex Tata, maybe a gain of a yard. And it'll be 2nd and 9.
And the run game's just been non-existent all night long. I mean, I don't care. Will Evans is not going to get a big gain with the lack of holes at this offensive line. Will Evans last year, 1,000-yard rusher. Even he would not be able to run behind the job that this offensive line is doing tonight.
Olsen into the game at tailback now. Bernard checks the far sideline on a 2nd and 9 play. Low snap. He's going to throw it left side, complete across midfield, and just shy of that first down marker is Blake Brown, which will set up a 3rd and 1.
Now, see, that's what you traditionally have seen over the years from Blue Valley. Short hitches, not trying to throw the ball 20 yards down the field like they did a lot in that first half. Take what the defense gives you. I like the halftime adjustment so far that we've seen here on this drive from the Tigers coaching staff.
3rd and a yard. Bernard from the pistol. Olsen is his tailback behind him. Pistol snap. They give to Olsen. Has a first down and more across the 40-yard line. Stiff arm to the 35 and ridden out of bounds near the 32-yard line of Bishop Miege.
The first big positive run that we've seen, and that's what happens when you're able to throw the ball a little bit effectively. It opens up that defense. They can't just play the run. Throw a couple completions. That opens up the run game. Nice first down conversion for the Tigers. They're on the move here.
Bernard quick to the line. Gives to Olsen once again. Stutter step in the gap, and he's dropped near the 32-yard line at the original line of scrimmage.
I like Eric Olsen, though, with his running ability. He's a little bit quicker than Tata. Tata last year was known more of his blocking ability, but Olsen has a little wiggle that Tata just doesn't bring to the table, and he's been electric when he's gotten some good opportunities from his offensive line to open up some holes.
Flags fly on the hard count. And they're going to walk backwards, and it looks like it's going to be a false start against Blue Valley. So the Tigers move backwards. Now 2nd and 15 for Blue Valley. Trying to cut into this 35-3 lead for Bishop Miege. 10:01 to play third quarter. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left after the false start penalty for Luke Bernard and company. Neither of these 2 quarterbacks have really distanced themselves so far in this one. Bernard
again.
Trying to mount a touchdown drive here. Will throw a deep route left side, and it is incomplete. He overshot his intended target, Blake Brown. Here comes 3rd and long.
Oh, no flag, yeah. The receiver jumped offside there, and they didn't call it. And the Miege defensive staff, led by Tim Grunhard, former NFL player, Kansas City Chief, boy, he was livid. He was a couple yards on the field there. This game means a lot to these guys. I mean, even though it's 35-3, Miege is not counting this as a W yet. They certainly want to shut this Tiger offense down.
3rd and long. Bernard rolling to the right side, throws. It is tipped up and incomplete. They were looking near side for Cameron Wildrano. the reserve receiver, in for Shane Bergman. It'll be 4th and 15.
Yeah, right in his hip pocket was Cameron Key, who we've seen over the years. Yeah. He's a very, very good defensive back, a very good cornerback, one of the big returning starters in the secondary for the Stags. And, he was right there. I mean, he had 10 pass breakups last season, and so he's always near the football and did a nice job there once again, setting up this 4th and long.
4th and 15, offense out there on the field. We'll watch for that rugby-style punt. We've become accustomed to that over the last couple of years. Watching these Blue Valley games, Bernard will sure enough step into a rugby-style punt, and it looks good. Hits inside the 10-yard line. It takes a Blue Valley roll, and it will be dropped near the 1. Are they going to roll it a touchback? They will. So Miege will come out to the 20. That was nearly saved near the 1-yard line by one of the receivers for Blue Valley that got down there in coverage. But instead, the Stags will take over at their own 20, up 32 points, 9:38 to play here, third quarter.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the Stags dial up. I mean, everything's been working tonight. The run game's been working. The passing game's been working. Offensive line's done a good job, but Putz did take some hits late in that second quarter. They try to run the ball, maybe grind out some clock here and be more physical in front. Let's see what happens here in this drive.
Cobbins, left side on the give, nothing going. Out to the 20-yard line, they'll be 2nd and 10. We've seen a lot of Cobbins, seen a lot of Clark, the two tailbacks in this offense, getting all the carries this evening. And Cobbins is the younger of the two, only a sophomore. Again, he's had the 98-yard touchdown run and the 16-yard touchdown scamper. 3 receivers in the formation. Clark in the backfield now. Putz zips it out right side in the flat. It is complete, but nowhere to go. Only out to the 22 goes Quinn Schieber.
Nice open field tackle. Several Tigers rallying to the football. We didn't see a ton of that in this first half from the Tiger defense. They would be one-on-one kind of in the islands, and the linebackers wouldn't rally to the football. The safeties wouldn't rally to the football. Nice job there. 3 or 4 Tigers there to make the play to set up this 3rd and 7 situation.
Inside 9 to play, third quarter. Putz, pistol snap. Here comes pressure. Steps up, throws right side, complete, and a first down. Near the 30-yard line. That was Peyton Hamrick on the reception. And they're going to go ahead and move the chains.
That's just a simple stick route run to where the first down stick is. Turn around. Bam. Carter Putz put that right on the money.
So the Stags keep on churning here now into the second half. The first drive of the second half for Bishop Miege. Putz, pistol formation again. Hands off on a counter to Cameron Clark. Clark knifing through. He has some room to midfield. It is going to be a foot race that Cameron Clark rarely loses. Inside the 10-5 touchdown. Cameron Clark scoots 69 yards, and the Stags add another 41-3, a commanding lead over Blue Valley.
Just a treasure trove of riches in the backfield for this Stag offense. Cobbins has a huge run. 98 yards, oh yeah, well, Cameron Clark says, I can do just as well as you, and bust one for 70 yards right there. That's, again, the one thing I love about their running backs is they're very patient. Clark let that offensive line open up the blocks. He was patient, read the hole, made one nice little cutback, and he was off to the races.
Extra point kick is blocked, and so it will stay a 41-3 game. Bishop Miege doing it on the ground, doing it through the air, doing it on defense, having no problems with the Tigers on your Sports Radio 810 High School Game of the Week. Line drive kick is taken by Barber off the 10-yard line. Comes right side across the 30 near the hash mark, out near the 35 is where he's finally dragged down. And back comes that Blue Valley offense, who got into a little bit of a rhythm offensively on their last drive, ended up stalling out, punting it, and Miege turned it into 6.
I tell you what, Tim, I've been around high school football now in Kansas City for 20 years, and I don't think I remember something like this happening to Blue Valley. And talking to folks kind of coming into this game, a lot of coaches throughout the city thought that Miege was the better team, but I think no one would have seen a 41-3 game. This is just not what we see from Blue Valley.
4 receivers in the formation. Luke Bernard still out there at quarterback. Out of the pistol, short drop, throws, hitch route complete, and hit immediately at the 39-yard line was Cameron Waldrano. And it'll be 2nd and 6 for Blue Valley.
It's just nothing really has worked all night. The run game, not there. The passing game, other than one play, not there. Not what you're used to seeing from this Tigers. And Tigers system, I mean, yes, I know they have tons of pieces, but they've always had to replace pieces at Blue Valley. They've just always had guys step up.
Olsen, the carry on 2nd down, runs into a wall of red at the 40-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down.
On the flip side, how about this? This is a statement game for the Stags. There are going to be people across the state that are going to open up the paper tomorrow morning in Wichita and Topeka and elsewhere throughout the city and go, holy cow.
Right.
The Stags are back again.
4 receivers again, inside 7 to play, 3rd quarter. Bernard, short drop, looks left, throws. It is incomplete. Through the hands of a wide open receiver. It was Matt Kennedy who was left alone. It'll be 4th down.
That's a play that the Tigers, over the years, they make those types of plays. He tried to run before he made the catch there. And just unfortunate. I mean, you just kind of feel for the Tigers right now for everything that they've had to emotionally go through. But, again, that's not what you see traditionally from them.
3 receivers to the right. The offense stays out there. See if we see this rugby-style punt. We will. Bernard, good-looking boot. Boy, sends Key all the way back to the 20-yard line. He fields it. Cameron Key with a little bit of a wiggle. He's out back, reversing field across the 35-yard line to the 40. Cameron Key's got blockers across midfield, and Key can take this one 80 yards. He will. Cameron Key, the punt return touchdown. Wow, they're doing it in all facets. They have scored offense, defense, and now special teams off the Cameron Key 80-yard punt return.
Their special teams have been special all night long. 2 punt blocks, one that got changed and called back. But Key, give him a lot of credit there because he could have just let that ball go out of bounds there. But he kept his feet just hugging that sideline, tiptoed it, then made the cut. And it was set up perfectly. Got to give a lot of credit. He's going to be the guy that gets his name in the paper, but his linemen, his guys, his blockers, they were just all over, and they had a caravan down that right sideline. And now that we're at this 45-point differential, we should be getting a running clock here after kickoff.
48-3, 6:29 to play, 3rd quarter. It is all Stags. Sports Radio 810 High School Game of the Week. Stay with us. Kickoff taken at the 7-yard line by Olsen Up the right hash mark, dodges a couple of men out near the 29-yard line is where he's finally dropped. Out comes the Tigers offense. And Jeremy, you just made quite the statement to me in the commercial break.
Oh, you're going to put me on the line here.
I'm
going to be interesting, and I'm sure Chad and Brad back in the studio and in the post-game show will have this discussion. But, I mean, you can make a legitimate argument now that the Stags are the best team in the city, better than Blue Springs. I watched that Blue Springs game last week. I think that these Stags could hang with them and possibly beat them. I think it's a coin flip type situation here. They 1-2, but I would not be upset if Chad Rader, when he does the A-10 varsity top 25, if he were to put Bishop Miege number 1. This is a statement victory right now.
Handoff up the middle to Alex Tata, and nothing doing there. It'll be 2nd and 10. I can't say I disagree with you. You watched that game last week, that Blue Springs Lee Summit West game. I didn't catch it, but they come up with 16 points. I mean, it's different Missouri to Kansas, but, I mean, you can't point out a weakness.
Now, the one thing I think the difference, you can make an argument, and I know Chase Donahoe, we'll see what happens here. They're battling right now. A very good Fayetteville squad, but I think Carter Putz is the difference. I think when you have a quarterback that can do those types of things that he can do, that's how you become an elite team. If you look at the top teams in the city over the years, they've always had a great signal caller, and that's no different here with this group.
They flared it out to Alex Tata on 2nd down. He picks up 6 yards, sets up a 3rd and 4 here from the 36-yard line of Blue Valley, trying to move the chains. 5:13 to play now in this third quarter, and it is a running clock in effect with a 48-3 advantage for the Stags of Bishop Miege. Bernard, shotgun snap, looks left, zips it that way, and it is wrestled away, incomplete. Great coverage by the cornerback, the reserve cornerback for Bishop Miege, Scruggs. And now here comes a 4th down. And the punt unit back onto the field.
They're going to go with the traditional punt unit now to get some gunners down the field. I mean, because that's the one thing when you go with the rugby punt, you better hope that your guys get down the field, or it's a punt and it rolls and rolls and rolls, and the defensive back, the returner doesn't pick it up and go with it. That was the one thing there that got to give the Stags a ton of credit. They fielded it and they had it blocked perfectly. They were ready for that rugby kick.
And now a timeout taken here by Blue Valley, 4:55 to play in this third quarter. And while we have a second here, let's talk about this Bishop Miege team, because obviously in the playoffs, so that's a real light schedule. I mean, we can be honest about that.
Yeah.
But looking at this schedule for Bishop Miege, they do travel to Aquinas. They do travel to Mill Valley.
Let's go back to that one. That one right now, that's the game. That's the game. So Chad Rader listening back at the studio, that's where we need to be in 2 weeks. That's the game of the city. I mean, St. Thomas Aquinas, one of the top teams in the city. They're rolling tonight as expected. The coaches over there have that system going. They have Jaden Russell, one of the top juniors in the state of Kansas, already with a ton of offers. So we're expected here. We're expecting that to be just a tremendous game.
And so out of the timeout, the punt unit remains on for Blue Valley. But yeah, so there are potential roadblocks in this regular season for Bishop Miege. Obviously, Aquinas being arguably the biggest here in 2017.
We've already gotten an update from back at the studio. Of course, we're going to be at the Aquinas Miege game in a couple weeks, so that excited for that one. That's going to be epic.
High punt is fair caught and made near the 35-yard line. Inside 5 to play in this third quarter. Back comes that Stags offense. And how much longer will we see Carter Putz and company in this one? And it was now a 45-point advantage.
Yeah, we just a clarification for you guys back at home. We did get a clarification from an official. There is not a running clock in the EKL. So since this is a league game, not a playoff game, we will be going regular football. And, I'm sure there's some folks on the Blue Valley side that wish there was a running clock at this point. But you're right. How much longer do we see Carter Putz? I can't imagine too much longer here, because you want to get your backup some opportunity.
He flares it out near side. It is nearly intercepted by Olson, who came up from his strong safety position. They were trying to flare it out to the tailback here in the flat to Cobbins, but a great play by Olsen to bat it away, 2nd and 10.
I'm curious to see what Blue Valley North has, too. I mean, Blue Valley North's got Miles Emery, a KU commitment on the defensive side of the ball. They've got some young, good offensive skill talent. I mean, no one's talking about them. They could be a sleeper team in the EKL, but the way that this is setting up here tonight, it's going to be, we thought this might be the championship game of the EKL, but I think we need to look maybe 2 weeks now for that Aquinas-Miege battle. It's going to be fun Friday night on, what is that?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, September 15th. So mark your calendars, folks, if you like great high school football, get over to Aquinas because that will be a special, special night.
Bryson Cobbins picked up 4 on 2nd down. Here's 3rd and 6. But still in the game, shotgun snap, zips it near side. It is complete near midfield. And stepping out of bounds was Daniel Jackson, who already has a touchdown tonight. A 1st down for the Stags out near the 49.
We're talking about scores across the city. Here is maybe this one's shocking, but this one's just stunning. St. James is now up 38-14 over the 2-time defending Class 5 state champions, Mill Valley. And Mill Valley brought a lot back, too. We did Mill Valley several times last year. Mill Valley brought a lot back, so a tip of the cap to the St. James crew if they can keep that and ride that 4th quarter out for a big victory. That would be a kind of a program-defining win for that team because they've yet to beat Mill Valley. Mill Valley's a big brother, little brother situation over there in Western Shawnee.
2nd and 2 play goes right up the middle on the give to Bryson Cobbins. Has a 1st down for the moment, but a flag does fly. So we'll have to tend to that. But, yeah, that's the defending 5A state champion.
2-time defending 5A state champion.
A lot of people thought they'd be stronger this year than they were last year.
Yeah. No, they didn't. They had some pieces to place, but they were so young and the coaches over there, Joel Appleby, were talking about how their sophomore class last year was the best sophomore class that he's ever had, and to have them do that is just wow.
It's going to really shake up that top 25 because St. James, they weren't even in it. Now a 2nd and 8 play after the 5-yard penalty. They give to Cameron Clark. Good cutback across the 45. Finds some room to the 40.
Wow.
30, and he is going to go again. Cameron Clark, this time from 49 yards away, is back into the end zone the 2nd time tonight, and the Stags get another one.
I don't want to take anything away from Clark there because that was a nice, solid run, but unfortunately there's a lot of arm tackling and lack of effort right now from this Blue Valley team. And they're diving at ankles and not trying to make good tackles, and he could have been tackled for just a 5 or 6 yard gain. Instead, they dive, they miss, and he's in the end zone again.
Extra point kick is up and through, 55-3. Clark, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the quarter, and the lead is 52 on your Sports Radio 810 High School Game of the Week.
A few years ago, my
Your score, 3:27 to play in the 3rd quarter here from Bishop Miege. It's a score line that no one expected coming into the night.
People are going to open up the paper tomorrow or read online later tonight. They're going to think that's a typo. That cannot be right, but it is indeed right. Every facet of the game has been pure domination by the Stags.
Brendan Barber takes the ensuing kick out across the 25 near the 30-yard line before he is upended. And back comes the Tigers offense, who they're going to have to go back to the drawing board here next week before they take on a Blue Valley West team at home. And it's a game where they should be able to get back on track, but still, that offense, this has not been an encouraging first 3 quarters for them.
Yeah, let's get you a couple other score updates from the A10 varsity scoreboard. Free State up 42-2 over Shawnee Mission West. That Free State been one of the few teams kind of hard to figure out over the years. They play so well, and then they'll drop a game unexpected, but they're blasting them. How about Blue Valley North? Told you the Mustangs are a team to watch. 48-6 over Blue Valley Northwest. I know Northwest isn't really very good right now. Aquinas is up 35-14 over Gardner Edgerton. So you got to tip your hat to the Trailblazers making that a game. Basehor Linwood doing what Basehor Linwood should do to Bishop Ward. They're up 65-0. Bonner Springs up 49-0 over Turner. Palo up 35-21 over Piper. So we'll get you some Missouri scores here, but opening week in Kansas producing a lot of blowouts.
So the first down carry to Alex Tata, by the way, went for 3 yards, and now an encroachment against the Stags defense is going to make this a 2nd and short for Blue Valley.
Couple quick scores here on the Missouri side. Blue Springs now retakes the lead over Fayetteville 17-13. That's a heck of a game. Blue Springs South down to Lee Summit North. Boy, that's a surprise. Blue Summit North now up 29-9. Fort Osage finally rallies. They're up now 35-14 over Lee Summit.
Now here is a pass run option. They flare it out near side to Cameron Green, who is out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Looks about a half-yard short of that first down.
Yeah, a couple more scores. Lee Summit West, we saw them in week 1, saw them last week, and they played well against Blue Springs, but couldn't quite come up with the victory. They are just blasting Ray Peck. Some people thought Ray Peck might be a sleeper pick this year. Lee Summit West is absolutely killing them 41-0. Park Hill and Billy Maple show up 28-0 over in-city rivals. Park Hill South and Liberty's finally running away from Liberty North. They're now up 28-7.
They give straight up the middle. Plugging forward is the reserve tailback Justin Schoenfeld. He has a first down near the 45-yard line. Pick up a 6. And that starting defense still out there for Bishop Miege as we near the 2-minute mark here in this third quarter. And that's something that John Holmes does. He will leave his starters out there, even in a blowout like this, for a good 3 quarters. So they're getting this game time in because, again, in 2 weeks,
they're going to. No doubt. I get it. Do you think it's going to be a point where you need to get your younger guys some chances here, though, too?
Slant route is incomplete, intended for Waldrano, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
David Robinson on the coverage.
1:55 again to go in this third frame. All Bishop Miege. They've had 4 touchdowns on the ground tonight, 2 from Bryson Cobbins, 2 more from Cameron Clark. Carter Putz picking up where he left off last year. 2 more touchdowns through the air for him. They hand off up the middle, short gain for Schoenfeld. Out near the 47-yard line. It'll be set up a 3rd and 8 here for the Tigers. They have scored on defense and on special teams. Jazir Cox had a pick 6 back in the first quarter, and then Cameron Key earlier in this third quarter took a punt 80 yards to the house. And now here's a 3rd and 8 for Blue Valley. Bernard, short drop, pressure from his backside. He's going to step up and run it across the 45, diving inside the 40-yard line. Excuse me, it's Walker Kinney, the other quarterback in this offense, who picks up a first down on the ground out across the 40 to the 39.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this quarterback battle develops for Blue Valley moving forward, because for all the inaccuracy that Walker Kinney has had in this game, he does bring some physical tools that, Luke Bernard just honestly doesn't look like he has. He does have that arm that can do some good things with it, get the ball down the field a little bit further. So I'm just curious to see how this thing shapes up for the rest of the year, because neither one of them have kind of grab the bull by the horns tonight. So there's a real opportunity for either one of them to take this over. They're going to get plenty of chances.
Kinney runs right, and he ducks out of bounds near the 38-yard line. Called a gain of just a yard on the ground. Inside of 50 seconds to play here, third quarter. 52-point lead.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this one takes advantage, develops up in Northland. The battle up in North Kansas City, the Northland, it's not North Kansas City, but the Northland. Staley 34, Platte County 27. That was one of our games that we pegged as going to be a special one when we talked with Sarah and Petra on Thursday. And that's a barn burner. If you've ever been to Platte County, they pack those people into that stadium, and that atmosphere is just electric up there right now. This one, we had a great crowd up here earlier. The Blue Valley crowd obviously is thinned out quite a bit here, but tell you what, there's a lot of Bishop Miege folks. They've not left. They're enjoying every single bit of this, because there was some point in the early 2000s before Tim Grunhard arrived, and throughout the 90s, going back to Schottenheimer and all the success that this Blue Valley program had, they ran the script. They blew out Bishop Miege. So there's some old folks that are around this community at Bishop Miege that are absolutely loving every single second of this 55-3 score.
3rd and 9. Kinney throws a deep pass that is going to be intercepted. Coming back to the near side is Jazir Cox for his second time tonight. Cut back to the 30, and he's down at the 31. Flag flies at the tail end of that one. But that is the second interception of the night for the strong safety, Jazir Cox. I know
all intention is going to be for the job that this Bishop Miege offense has done. But, I go back to what this defense has done. They've just played lights out all night long. Again, doing it without Joe Watsky, one of their star linebackers. He'll be back for that Aquinas game. But they've just been all over the place. Nothing has worked at all. And you mentioned Jazir Cox was his second interception. He's just been amazing. His first one, that pick six he had, was just a great athletic play. And that was a nice play, too, because he had to turn his body back around and come back to the football. And then love how he had his head up and was able to get down the field and do some positive things.
A face mask tacked on, and now here's Bryson Cobbins on a first down carry. Good cutback across the 37 to the 40. And now plowed down near midfield. There is a flag on the tail end of that one, and this one may be coming back. Yeah, holding against the Stags. And so negate that 15-yard carry by Bryson Cobbins.
And you know what? John Holmes is going to be able to nitpick with all these penalties that they've had in this game.
Yeah.
And that's what you want when you get week one, get a comfortable victory. None of us would have thought there would be a comfortable victory. But you can also nitpick and say, gosh, guys, if we got to clean up these penalties in 2 weeks, or Aquinas is going to beat us. We can't. It's going to be a good coaching moment for the Stag staff.
15 seconds to go in this third quarter after the holding. Make it a 1st and 20. Back at the Bishop Miege 26-yard line. And now they're going to walk off the field as that clock runs, and is going to take us all the way down to quarter number 3. Headed for quarter number 5. It's all Stags. Been that way since the opening quarter. 55-3 on your Sports Radio 810 High School Game of the Week.
Have you ever heard an ad?
So we open up quarter number 4, a 55-3 ball game. All Bishop Miege in this one. They've got the football 1st and 20 from their own 26-yard line. And now the reserves have come to play for the Stags. Here's a give near side, cut back across the 28, plowing his way near the 30-yard line is Bryson Cobbins. So a couple backups in. Putt's still out there, though. Cobbins still out there.
Again, we talked about this earlier. There's no number 2 on the depth chart, so we're going to find out who the backup quarterback is for Miege eventually. I'm already looking forward to that Aquinas game in a couple weeks here. Sorry about that.
So here's a 2nd and 16 Putts. High snap. He'll drop back to throw. He'll zip it far side and completes it to Daniel Jackson, who gets all the way out near midfield before he's roped down. He spun off one at the 40 and kept on going. Tough running by the receiver, Daniel Jackson.
Just arm tackling, poor effort right now from this Blue Valley team on both sides of the ball. Just as Coach Sherrill's got to be just so frustrated right now. His guys just are not doing the little effort things that you just have always seen from Blue Valley.
Now Daniel Jackson heads off. In his place, Sam Powell. And we may see more of these reserves start to head in for the Stags now. Putts. Pistol snap. He's going to flip it near side. Cameron Clark picking up blocks, and he's stuck near midfield. No gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. Inside 11 to play in this 4th quarter. And now the Stags just trying to kill some of that clock. Get out of here, their first win of the year, a blowout over the 6A runner-up from a year ago. Putts, pistol snap, looking over the middle. Now he's going to tuck it, and he's going to flare it out to Cameron Clark across the 43-yard line, duck near the 42-yard line. It looked for a second like Putts was going to take off. They decided to dump it off to Clark in the flat at the last second.
I mean, he's just so fun to watch. I mean, there isn't a more dynamic player in this. You just never know what he's going to be able to do with the football. He's right there. He should have been sacked. He should have lost several yards, but he somehow slips underneath the defender and just flips it out to the running back and gets some positive yards.
So 3rd and a yard to go. They give to Cobbins up the middle, pushing the pile near the 40-yard line. It's going to be close. Ball came out at the end of it. They're going to say Cobbins was down. And it's going to be a close spot. Doesn't look like he got it from the near side official's spot. See, they don't call for a measurement, and it's going to be 4th and, let's call it inches.
And Miege, of course, is going to go for it.
Keep the offense out there. Try to keep this clock rolling. 9.5 to play, 4th quarter, up 55-3. Putts checks the sideline. 3 receivers out there. Cameron Clark, Bryson Cobbins are the tailbacks in the formation. They give to Cobbins. Running the right side, hits the sideline. A first down, cut back to the 35 near the 34-yard line is where he finally ends up. A first down on the ground for Cobbins. And I'd love to see those rushing numbers. Both of these guys well over 100
Yeah, they got to be nearing 200 by the time we're done. And I know we were really hard on the Portier brothers, the left tackle Taylor and left guard Tyler early on for their false starts on that first drive. But this offensive line, they've done a really, really nice job this entire – outside that first drive, they finally kind of clicked in, and they've done a nice job all night long. And, again, one of those kind of unsung heroes in this game is going to be this offensive line and the way they play.
Nice snap. This one gets away from Putts. He chases us down all the way back to the Bishop Miege 42 is where he dives.
Of course I say that, and he snaps the ball 10 yards over his head. Oh, man. And that's it's just how it goes sometimes. But, oh, boy, that an unfortunate type situation right there. And that is a backup there. That is not the starting offensive line who did that. The starting offensive lineman who did that there.
So that'll make it a 2nd and 35 all of a sudden. But I wouldn't be surprised if they picked up a first down.
It's been the way that things have been going tonight, no doubt.
Inside 8 to play. Putts just checking that play clock right now, standing there at the line and just waiting for it to tick down inside 5 seconds before he'll snap this football. He finally does and gives to Cameron Clark, who runs into 3 white jerseys at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd and a country mile. So I kind of jokingly said there at halftime that I wouldn't be surprised if Carter Putts, even if he didn't throw the football, if this offense could add 2 or 3 more touchdowns, he's hardly thrown it in the second half. And like I said, all they've done is added to this lead. Up 55-3 in this one.
Very conservative offense, obviously, eating the clock up, not going normal pace. You're right, yeah, they usually, you think easily if they'd played hard, they could have put 70 up here on them tonight.
High snap putts. He's going to drop back. He's going to dump this one off, and it's intercepted. They were trying to set up the halfback screen to Bryson Cobbins. Cobbins never got his head turned around, and it's picked off by the linebacker, Alex Tata.
Yeah, he had a fumble early on in the game, makes up for it a little bit here with that. They're going to discuss it. I thought he had it cleanly there. Scooped it off the ground right before it went on, or scooped it before it went to the ground. Let's see what they're saying.
They're talking about it.
No, they're going to. Oh, they said it was a penalty, an ineligible man downfield. So on that screen pass.
Okay, so it's still an interception. That will stand. And they declined the ineligible downfield. And so a quarterback that threw 3 interceptions all year last year has thrown one here in garbage time.
Only 8 in his career. I mean, he's gonna probably approach. He might be near 100 touchdown passes by the time he's done with his career here. I mean, with the way that this system's going.
So here come the Tigers again. 6:53 to go in this one. It is Walker Kinney back at quarterback. He hands off left side. Knifing for room is Alex Tata. Now he's reversing field across the 30-yard line. Needs one block inside the 20, and he gets roped down from behind inside the 10-yard line. Good run by Alex Tata.
You know what? Give him a lot of credit. He could have easily a lot of this teammates have kind of checked it in already, and they're already thinking about next week, thinking about what they're going to do with their girlfriends later on this weekend. But Alex Tata, give him a lot of credit here because he's continued to fight with that interception there and that nice run.
They spot him at the 8-yard line. Kinney checks the far sideline, and now at tailback, Justin Schoenfeld got some carries last drive. And they're going to give to him. Straight up the middle. Looking for room inside the 5. Turns the pile inside the 3-yard line to the 2. Goes Schoenfeld, the senior tailback.
All right, another quick 8-10 varsity scoreboard update. Blue Springs continues to hang on over Fayetteville 17-13 late in the fourth quarter. Park Hill ends up rolling Park Hill South 42-0. Liberty's finishing off Liberty North 28-7. That's a nice victory over your crosstown rival. And now Staley has now opened it up on Platte County a little bit, 48-27. Staley is a sneaky good team. That's a good win.
Kinney, 4 receivers in the formation, gives to Schoenfeld up the middle into the end zone. From 2 yards away, Justin Schoenfeld, the reserve tailback, finally punches it in for the Tigers. And they cut into that lead at 55-9.
Now, I'll tell you what, that give a lot of credit to Alex Tata on that drive for getting that one in. He didn't carry the ball into the end zone, but his efforts were huge in that touchdown result with the interception and then that big run. Got to give him a lot of credit for not giving up, and the Tigers have a little bit of positive things to go in there.
5:34 to go in your ball game. This extra point to make it 55-10. Jackson Likens had a 25-yard field goal back in the first half. And his extra point kick is up and through. 55-10. Blue Valley finally gets into the end zone, but it's too little too late against a Stags juggernaut on your Sports Radio 810 High School Game of the Week. 4:34 to go in your fourth quarter. The hands team out there for Bishop Miege, anticipating a potential Blue Valley onside kick here. Again, Blue Valley is the only team to defeat these Stags in the last 3 seasons under John Holmes. And I'd say John Holmes got his revenge tonight.
Exacting lots of demons tonight.
So Jackson Likens, the kicker for Blue Valley, will instead kick it deep. And it is going to be fielded near the 6-yard line and dropping to a knee near the 17-yard line.
And you brought up a good point, because that was always the knock against Miege, is that they're whipping up on all the other schools in the playoff, the smaller schools in playoffs, but they just couldn't beat the big 6A the big bad 6A team.
Yeah.
But you know what? They're kicking their butts tonight, and in a convincing fashion. And I'm sure, you hate to say this, but that's probably a reason why you've seen some of these starters stay out here a little bit longer than what you probably anticipated. They're really trying to send a message to a lot of folks across the state about this.
So Sam Pedrati, the backup quarterback, will step in. Tyquez Witten, the backup tailback, in the formation behind him. So the reserves in now across the board for Bishop Miege. They're going to give to Witten on a first down carry. He plunges forward to the 19. And a reminder that high school football is brought to you by the Sports Medicine and Performance Center at the University of Kansas Health System. Also brought to you by McCarthy Chevrolet, where you can get $1,000 trade assistance plus $500 down payment assistance with the purchase of any new Chevrolet at all 3 McCarthy Chevrolet locations in Olathe, Lee Summit, and in Marshall. And finally by A&B CarStar, who has been serving the Kansas City area since 1964 with 5 convenient locations. Locally owned and operated and a proud sponsor of high school football on Sports Radio 810 WHB. They hand it off left side to Witten, trying to get to the edge, and you'll get roped down near the 23. And a reminder to stay tuned with us after this one is over. We've got 4:40 to go in this one for the Bob Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter post-game show. They'll have plenty to talk about in this game, probably about your controversial comment earlier.
Is it well, I mean,
I'd love to hear what they have to say.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it'll be discussed, and I really like both teams. I mean, golly, just find a way to play to get a post-Thanksgiving game where we get the number 1 team versus number 1 team in Kansas City on the Kansas side and number 1 team in Missouri side, and get that to play. But we know it'll never happen. But boy, oh boy, it would sure would be fun. I would try to move heaven and earth to get a Blue Springs or a Park Hill or whoever that ends up the number 1 team on that Missouri side against the number 1 team on the Kansas side. And certainly the way that Miege has played tonight, they're making a stake to the claim against number 1 to be number 1 on the Kansas side with a huge arrow pointing up. But it doesn't get easier for them. They have to go to Aquinas. They still have Blue Valley North. I mean, they still have to play Mill Valley. Obviously, it looks like Mill Valley's going down big to St. James here tonight, but it doesn't get easier. There's no gimme games in the EKL now.
Tyquez Witten picked up a first down, and now he gets this carry across the 40-yard line, reversing field to midfield. He has got a block out in front of him, a stiff arm across the 35-yard line. He's ridden out of bounds in the Blue Valley territory. And the rich get richer for Bishop Miege, man. This is their third tailback, Tyquez Witten. And
they've got another one, too. I mean, Philippe Wesley is another guy that is a true freshman, the only freshman that's on the 2 deep. And that Coach Holmes and a few of the coaches were whispering that he might be the best kid that they have coming. He hasn't touched the ball yet tonight, but they've been whispering that he might be the next big-time national-level recruit that they have, either at running back or receiver. He's lined up out wide at receiver right now.
5'11", 170 as a freshman. And you were saying that he has got some
track speed. Yeah, apparently he's a AOU national track champion, and I like his shoes. He's got the shiny shoes. You can't miss him out there. The bright silver shiny shoes, and you better be. If you have those types of things, you better be fast. And final score from over in Kansas and in Shawnee, 45-21. St. James beats the 2-time defending Class 5 state champions, Mill Valley. That's a huge win for that program. Can't understate that enough, or overstate that enough.
They hand off to Witten, running up the middle across the 35-yard line to about the 34 in Blue Valley territory after a 5-yard penalty against the Stags. 3:05 to play in this fourth quarter, and, yeah, that's going to shake up the A-10 varsity top 25. A St. James team that wasn't even ranked. Topping a Mill Valley team that was, well, they were up there. They were in the top 25.
15 range or something like
that?
Yeah,
14th.
Yeah. Well, now that we've got both sides of the state line playing, there's going to be plenty of movement here moving forward.
2nd and 10 for the Stags. They toss out to Witten, right side, looking for blocks. He's not going to get them as he's submarined at the 34-yard line. 2.5 to play. So after the last 2 years of this game being a one-score ball game, last year 35-28, 2 years ago 42-35, this has been just the opposite. We're going back. In the Eric Driscoll era, there was never a game like this.
No. Not at all. Not at all. Last 7 years, this game has been just ultra competitive. And, to be honest, Blue Valley's dominated. They've won 5 of the last 7 of these matchups. Miege broke through in 2013, which was a huge victory for this program. Kind of signaled to the city that they were going to be for real and something to taken seriously. But then, Blue Valley comes in and wins the next 2 games in a row and kind of own the series here. But boy, this is a statement win for sure. And I know Coach Holmes and his staff are excited about the W, but probably already thinking about what do we need to get better for next week and what do we need to get better for a week after that. He's just that type of guy, and we haven't touched on this a little bit enough. I know we did way back in the beginning, but a tip of the cap to all of the Miege coaches, support staff for wearing Blue Valley shirts that all the Blue Valley coaches and fans are wearing in support of Coach Driscoll and all that stuff thing. But that's a touch of class that just you don't see from a lot of other programs throughout the city.
Witten carried for 2 yards on 3rd down, and now the 4th down carry goes for nothing. He runs into a wall of Blue Valley defensive linemen. So here comes that Blue Valley offense. Only 1:12 to go in this one. Bishop Miege 1-0, and now we check the schedule, and the Stags will be at home next week against Gardner Edgerton, a team that, Aquinas took care of tonight handily. And Blue Valley, they will be back at home against the Blue Valley West team they should be able to regroup against.
I think so. I mean, and certainly if they struggle in that game, then that's maybe the time to maybe kind of hit the panic button around this Tiger program. And they're just so used to winning and reloading. And, a lot of people thought that they would kind of reload, that they did have some young guys that were just waiting for the chances to step up. But certainly tonight it looks like there's some unanswered questions.
Yeah.
What's going to happen at quarterback? They certainly seem to have some big issues at running back. And I don't know if that issues at running back are related to the lack of push from their offensive line. You have to watch game tape to kind of determine that, but there's been no crease for any of these running backs or no speed for the running backs to break through. So a combination of the two. They've got some skill at the perimeter at receivers, and I like what we saw a little bit from some of their defensive backs. It's just, there's a lot of questions heading into week 2 for the Blue Valley Tigers, no question.
1st down carry went for 2 yards, and now here's Walker Kinney on an option play, gets out across midfield, now into Bishop Miege territory where he's ducked out of bounds near the 38-yard line. Clock stops at 27 seconds to go in this one. And a couple more snaps for Blue Valley, and that should get us out of here. And, yeah, this Blue Valley crowd, they've gotten out of here, but like you were saying, that Bishop Miege crowd, they have stuck around. And they're going to wait till the final whistle because they want to celebrate this win. This carry goes for 2 yards. And that may take us down.
Well, and they also they have some neat post-game traditions here at Bishop Miege. It's just a neat community feeling here that you don't see with a ton of other high schools throughout the city. And, they do a thing called Follow the Leader on the field with the cheerleaders and the players, and they do the fight song and all those kind of things. It's all very kind of small college-type feeling, and we're going to get to see it here for ourselves here as the final seconds tick off.
They do tick away, and that is a final 55-10. Bishop Miege, a statement victory over last year's 6A runner-up Blue Valley. This Stags team is for real, and it could have been An even bigger win for them tonight if they hadn't taken their foot off the gas in the second half. Once again, Carter Putz, the returning Gatorade returning Gatorade Kansas Player of the Year. He had 2 touchdown throws tonight. Bryson Cobbins had 2 touchdowns on the ground, one from 16, one from 98 yards away. Jazeer Cox had a pick 6. He had 2 interceptions tonight. Cameron Clark had 2 rushing touchdowns. Boy, everyone got into the act tonight for Bishop Miege. 55-10 again. It's your final. We're going to send it back to the guys in the studio for Jeremy Crabtree. I'm Tim Spurl. Football in Kansas is back, and we may have a king in Bishop Miege.
Hi, Chiefs fans.